surely a name.
Greetings, friends!
Hey!
Welcome to the ninth world of Numenera. We are in the Earth a billion years in the future. We've got all kinds of crazy high technology that has all, we've lost touch with what any of it means. That is all of our Numenera inhabiting a quasi-medieval world filled with crazy high future technology. Our group of explorers, last we left, had just saved all of their compatriots who set out into the cold desert to found the Amber Keep, which is their base of operation for the Amber Gleaners, and the group was kind of coming to reinforce that operation and to bring more supplies in order to start building some kind of installations and whatnot. But when they arrived, they had been all captured by some kind of mysterious foes, who you guys tracked down. The Frontex, the strange beetle-like creatures living in a pink crystalline base, and had some negotiations with them, which went quickly south when it was realized that the captives had been some of the captives had been sacrificed to a demon.
Forfax cut to the chase there.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you plan on doing with these people?
And also a dislike of abhumans.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. So the Frontex were basically scared from their lair as the giant one was approaching and defeated by a clever use of a gravity detonation device, which compressed it down to the ground, and this giant four-armed Frontex was crushed beneath an intense weight. And then a Kele using the memory extractor was able to gather some information about the demon and about the storm of all endings that they were prophesizing from the leader. And I don't know, did you guys end up feeding the leader to the demon? I'm pretty sure you just took apart the demon, right? Because the demon was just a robot. Was an automaton.
I'm pretty sure we took the automaton.
We did not want to mess with pushing the big red
buttons.
Kele was into that idea. Everyone else seemed a little, so he didn't voice his opinion. Kele was into it though. We'll see what happens. Is there something on my face?
No, I got distracted.
They just look good. I love Daw Yellow. It's like my favorite. The Daw Yellow and Red combo is touches my heart, my soul. The 70s fantasy iconic. And I thought it would be cool to just have a shelf.
As you can see behind Sophie's head there on the video, you can see him.
Yes. Daw Yellow.
My crown of Daw Yellow.
The halo of flame. So the party returns to the Amber Keep, victorious, and immediately repairs and work have been begun. Tasala, the one who is kind of the one who is set to be the mayor, so to speak, of Amber Keep, very quickly after a night of rejoicing around the campfire, is waking everyone up at dawn and getting everyone to work. Visso, the right, who was charged with kind of setting up the base in the first place, is getting to work on finishing the wall that was started and ruined, and so it's using a lot of the kind of NPCs to work on that, and Visso guesstimates that will take 3 weeks, and from a meta standpoint, you guys are going to have 2 months. The GM is telling you this. You don't necessarily know that it's going to be 2 months until something happens, but it's helpful for you to plan. So we're shifting into the Destiny rules of long-term actions. So everyone has been kind of checking up on what they're planning on doing, and we're gonna lead with that. But the sound, the air is filled with the sound of picks shattering rocks, splintering rocks and whatnot, and laborers grunting and groaning as they're moving rocks into place to finish this stone wall that was
Do you have that glorious image of the settlement?
Yeah, I can pull that up. I think. Give me a second.
The reddish,
Okay,
nasty.
I bought us some time to keep trying to hash out these long-term actions.
I don't think that my character should be discovering a new area of interest. It's an intellect task.
Alright, I got you. But if you wanted to, like, if you were still interested in the success of that, there is a help another PC task that will ease the task if a dice
Yeah.
roll is required.
Yes, okay, that would be a good idea because my character is all about the reason he's here is to expand the knowledge of what's out here.
And I feel like we've consistently been the scouting squad, so
Yeah, there we go, good.
Okay, there we go. There is our image of the. Why? No!
Image of the.
Oh, did something move?
Yes, the frame moved again.
Oh no, frame.
Don't look, y'all.
My head's cut off.
Doesn't make any sense.
I only have one eyeball.
The joy of OBS Studio just like randomly deciding that things are gonna move, but you know, like you do.
It's okay.
Here we go. We'll try this. There we go. Nothing moved that time. So that's kind of what the base is looking like right now. Have you guys probably taken an effort to wash the glandular secretion from
Somebody's
the...
out there with one of those giant scraper things,
Yes.
right? And they're just scraping this orange stuff off like paint.
Yeah, it dries eventually and is much like paint, yeah. It's a super versatile glandular substance from the Frontex's armpits, yeah. Thanks, Bruce Cordell, for all that weirdness.
do you need specific iota? Because I can look for specific iota.
I'm finding it difficult to find
to
much of anything that I can actually build. So if we travel out, that would be my main goal to do, is to find iotum. I've got a good spread of different things that I can work with, just not much of it. It's mostly responsive synth that it tends to be a lot of, but
And remember that
depends on what
when
it is.
when you do a salvaging roll, you can say, I'm looking for
Yes.
this specific
and there's a
thing.
long-term action that is finding specific iota.
Cool.
It doesn't really, so it's difficult to find specific iota rather than whatever components happen to be present in recently discovered scrap, but a delve who focuses their attention on doing so may find success. Each month, a delve attempts to salvage Numenera as a long-term activity. They can attempt to gain a specific result on the iotum result table with a difficulty equal to the level of iotum sought. So I'm not sure what number of it doesn't
How much of it you would
specify
get?
there. Yeah.
On that table, it shows like one of the
Okay.
columns is in the amount that you would get.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think
Right?
units.
Units.
Yeah.
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 Sorry. I'm just cracking up about these. Like, I'm looking through this book of Numenera creatures right now to figure out if there's something that inspires me. And they're just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this one I was like, oh, cool, body of a predatory cat. But its head appears to be a 3-foot wide ball of swirling energy surrounded by dozens of metallic plates that move as if in an orbit around the energy. I'm like,
No spoilers, man.
oh,
I
sorry.
feel like there's creatures in the
it's
in
like,
the very beginning that are like animals.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've seen a couple in here that look.
that's
like
where I
they'd be pretty
found
cool.
Krala's floating,
Yeah.
like, furry
That
disc.
disc
thing?
thing that-
Yeah,
Chauncey.
I feel
that
like
he
it's
brought
like
on
these
back.
are the companion
Thank you for
creatures,
remembering
like in the very
his name.
like before the alphabetical
Let's see the big
element.
ones
They're
on
like, here are the animals.
Holy monster.
Not in that book. I'm sorry. In the I'm not giving you the right information in this one. In the bestiary, like.
Oh, I didn't even realize you had a theory.
Is it worth it to do a find specific iota?
Can you work it?
Well,
Like,
Turn around.
I would at most getting.
Sorry.
Like, at most
okay.
be getting 6 units of responsive then.
What sort of action? Oh, as the long term, I think we should just go out and explore. If y'all were already planning on doing that,
No.
and we see what we got, and then if I don't end up getting to do that, I can I can do that. I'm gonna relax
Instead.
and explore a hobby for a month.
Oh, hey, also, I should mention this because it's important, but the wagons that you brought with you also include 200 units of parts,
Whoa.
10 units of IO.
Sorry, this is what did we get?
This was
here?
in the wagons that you guys brought with you.
Oh, sorry. Start over again.
200 units of parts.
200.
Mm-hmm.
Loud. We rolling in parts.
And 10 units of IO.
That's more like it.
I noticed there were a couple of tasks that added to some stats of the community. Are there
Yes.
any limits? Like, are there caps on that for a community because of its level or anything
Right
like
now,
that?
it is not technically a community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so could we
but soon.
take actions to give it
Didn't bring
benefits
those
to its community stats or not? Because
What
it
is it?
doesn't. It's not
No.
formally a community.
It looks maybe.
Yeah, well,
in Virosphere?
yes, because transparently it will be a community
Oh.
at the end of the session. So we'll say if you take those actions, then it'll add to it when it becomes a community.
That just seemed appealing to me.
Yeah.
That was my attraction to the general maintenance, that it added to infrastructure, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Or enhance community happiness, most of the examples of which are pretty anti-Kele's MO, but,
Yeah.
Okay,
They're too
well,
happy.
I'll say this. I tell you at some point that I need thumb dust and oraculum.
Oraculum.
Yeah,
Thumb
that.
dust.
Oraculum and thumb dust.
Do we assume that this is also like discovery,
There's just a
like numbers in here where it's like
Listen,
this is where you
Okay,
can
so
see
been
these
looking
creatures.
I think that's going to be the core
think-
book.
Okay.
And the old one, because this book is older.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I don't know,
That's what I
like
have
just
here.
maybe 2 units of.
I mean, in general, I know what I'm doing. I just don't know
you
exactly
never even
what
heard of this
creature it
shit
is
before?
yet,
Okay.
and what the
Or-
assets are that
no,
we'll be getting because of
and-
that. Because it depends
Yeah.
on the creature, right?
Units of
So yeah,
thumb
I'm really
dust.
just looking through those. But otherwise,
I
do you want me
gotta
to
have
describe
it.
what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna be doing?
So
If you want another minute, because other people could do.
Yeah, if other people have,
I'm
I just
guilt
didn't know if anyone
tripping.
else had.
Currently, I'm guilt tripping Kele to do my bidding. Please, find it, please. No, I
Why
won't
do
find
you
it on
always
my
need
own.
expensive stuff?
It's not expensive. It's just rare. Please.
I would like to take the action eye roll that lasts 1 minute.
Eye roll, yeah. An entire month
One
long
whole
eye roll.
You go blind after this, but community infrastructure up
But
by one.
people are shamed. The level of shame goes up by 1.
They all wear hoods for the
Morale
next year.
decreases.
Success.
But
But seriously,
abiding the law increases. Lawlessness increase.
Because there's more shame.
Happiness decrease.
but if you could find more thorn dust, that'd be fine.
63.
And amber crystal. Sorry.
I imagine that you run away after saying that.
And always responsive sent. So
Oh my gosh.
I'll just send you a list, maybe.
Would now also be a time if we had enough XP to
Oh yeah.
advance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, advancing could be done.
Well, I think we definitely. The one thing that we seem to know for sure is that we want to discover a new area of interest
Okay.
with assistance as a team.
Okay. Cool. So the assistance will reduce the difficulty. I think it's a 5,
Correct.
right?
You're 100% all over it.
Do you have well, how is the task described? Because maybe you might be trained in something.
Ranging out into previously unexplored area. Yeah, I think that I certainly am. I think this would be navigation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know.
Are we all getting
Yeah,
to
I
go
think
on
that's
the
reasonable.
adventure?
If you,
Or is it just-
Well, this is like to find it.
Gotcha. So
And
it's
then
only
it'll be
those
like
who are going.
report back what we've seen, and then if you choose to like as a group go into the story, like moment by moment basis, then you can take the whole group with you. Ooh, yeah, That's tricky, huh? Maybe we should work on that gravity
What the
well
hell?
there.
That's
Why'd you have to roll a 14?
I know.
That's like right on the verge of not being re-rolled. That's like
But it is
I think that is the
early.
top
Right
level
on
of,
the-
or like the of me
The
not
top tier.
re-rolling.
Everybody that brings themselves to say I can do better ultimately doesn't do better.
I feel like
12 to 14, I think, is the area in which I'm like, this is how confident am I? I'm checking in.
Yeah. I mean, there is 3.
15 and higher, I'm like, nope, never.
And there's me too.
No.
If you want to let the GM.
Why are you even being like that? I thought we were
Are
friends.
you gonna roll it?
I'll let Josh decide first. And
I'm
you
not
decide.
rerolling a 14.
This confidence in not re-rolling it makes me
He'll
feel that
re-roll it if I roll a 3.
That's true. I probably will.
Yeah. Point being, we don't have to have a 3.
Ah, fuck it. I'm not-
This is a very
Oh, you're not gonna
important-
touch it. I thought you were gonna reach out
No,
and snag
no.
it. Okay, now I'm good too.
Okay.
Okay.
We're good with the
Can
14.
we seal
Put a bird
it?
on it.
I feel like a 14 describes where the like tier of
Quick.
academic achievement that I attained in my whole career. I was like
Above
the
average.
bottom of the top 5 for
yeah.
my whole life.
Yeah, that feels fitting.
A 14.
Gosh, I'm looking at these companions, and one of them is a Thuman. Human faces and hound-like bodies. I'm like, who would choose that for their
Wasn't that the thing that
companion?
came to the theater that night?
Oh man.
No, those were the bird head things. Those are
Yeah.
different.
The
Oh,
skulls
A
with the-
broken pound.
Yeah, which are freaky,
Oh,
but imagine
that's right,
having your
the, like-
companion be like a dog-like body
If
with
it
a
was
human
tall
face.
and it would
That's
just, it
really
just put its chin on the table but never said anything and you couldn't see
hate
his body.
I want
Yeah,
it to
and it has that
speak like a
animal
human,
intelligence in its
too.
eyes.
Yeah, they can interact with humans.
God, no. I think it's
with a human.
I think it would be better if they could. If I had to choose, I was like, what's creepier? That they look like a human and they can't interact in any way like a human.
Yeah.
So it's like it's looking at it and you're like,
If my-
should I talk to it every time?
My dog's really pretty smart, and if it had a human face,
It's a
and came
winning
up and licked
creature.
me, it'd be a little bit weird.
What? But what's weirder? Is it weirder for it to behave like a human or for it not to? Because I think not to. Because like the more I look at it, the more I'm like, am I certain it's not going to talk to me? Like,
Yeah, right.
That's just it.
I'm always
You're just
questioning
waiting for it to talk, and you're like, because even with dogs and cats, a lot of times you just stare at them and you're like, you maybe are gonna talk right now, right? And they're just like,
That's not it, but close.
all right. So you're searching for a new location, and you're trained in navigation, so that's gonna ease it 1, and Shent is gonna
I'm going as
join,
well.
so that will ease it as well. So.
Oh, would we start with refreshed pools?
Yes.
Do we assume that we sleep 10
Yeah, well,
hours before
I
we-
assume that sleeping, the 10 hours.
Yeah.
Using the rest of your like
so we
need
resting
to, like-
actions will get you back to full. I
There's a
assume.
picture right there. Man, why didn't it have that in here? Jerks. They got Razor Cat listed right here, and then they don't have
Razor
it here. But
Cat?
then I
Yeah.
dug a little further, and then
Razor
there's a picture of it
Cat.
right there. Yeah, which are cool, but they're too high of a level. But it also says that their wilder sister species called burrow cats can sometimes be tamed. So I was kind of thinking about burrow cats.
You're
Sounds pretty
a
cool.
burrow cat.
That does sound cool.
So can I apply effort to this task?
No, you cannot apply effort to long-term tasks because they take a lot of time.
Oh.
And all right, so consider like applying effort to a task that takes a month. Then you're like, I'm gonna rest immediately
every day.
every time, right? So then you're like, it's in the rules.
I
Right?
see. I see
because
what
you can just
mean
rest
mechanically.
immediately, and then the effort means nothing, right?
True.
So you can't apply effort on
That
long-term
makes
tasks.
sense.
Yeah,
I accept that. I'm glad I asked.
it makes sense.
It makes sense mechanically. I'm not sure that it makes sense to me in my lived experience.
Yeah. So
You
could
wake up and apply more effort every day. Yeah.
I mean, we could bend the rules and say that you can apply effort, but then it like is stuck to you like in the following scene, right? Like that your pool
Yeah,
is
that makes
reduced
sense.
in
That
the
for the
next scene
whole
that you actually.
long-term effort experience, any effort, or yeah, the long-term action experience, any effort that you use accumulates. You don't reset until the end of the long-term actions.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I would only do this except that I'm like, Void Effigy would be ashamed.
Yeah, I know.
He would judge you.
It's okay.
It's okay.
No.
He's not here to say otherwise.
That's
so.
true.
No, I'm totally. I don't.
He'll go
I
back
was
and watch
purely
the
asking
meeting
to
for us.
know.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
yeah,
that
he'll be-
wasn't me trying to be
he'll be
like,
shaking his
oh,
head. Yeah.
I'm pissed that I can't use.
No, it's a good
effort.
question.
Now I'm gonna throw darts at a picture in space.
Even
Pissed about it.
Can you even Numenera?
But especially with crafting.
17, guys.
Nice roll.
Excellent.
It
All
could
right.
have been on camera, but it wasn't.
So
Thanks, Keith.
you're ranging out into the wild of the cold desert.
Yeah.
Much of the landscape that you're navigating through is like dotted with these weird crystalline structures, similar but smaller to the one that the Frontex were living in. However, after a time, you travel seeking out some kind of prior world ruin, right? As we're like they dot the landscape, and you come upon a structure that you see in the distance that resembles a massive, I think it's 9-fingered hand with a full arm, and it's like the size of like 3 city blocks, right? And it's severed. The arm is severed, and it's just like this kind of almost mountainous structure that's just looming there.
Diamond spaceships, but with 9 fingers.
Yes,
looks-
exactly.
Awesome.
And it has just crashed, and you can tell from like erosion and whatnot, there's like dirt like that has
Pushed
kind of
up.
pushed up against it. It's been there for a long time, and it's half sunk into it. And you can tell it was like severed at one point.
Does it seem like mechanical?
It does absolutely seem mechanical. Yeah, like it was part of
Big
some kind of
robot
like mecha or something, right? that has
Big
been
old
severed.
mecha arm, yeah.
And in living in the shadow of this arm, like tucked into the elbow, is like a hut style settlement of people.
Oh, damn.
Some kind of you can't tell what. But it does, like, they look like huts, right? And there's like fires and some animals wandering around. Like they look like it's like somewhat of a like a think like a desert-ish like kind of grassland. Like it's like dry and it's like cold, but there's still like some plants and whatnot. And you can tell that these are
tundra.
like kind of tundra like environment, and that these people are kind of like a nomadic. Not nomadic, but like a herders, right? So there's like herds of grazing animals near the village, the little settlement. So you discover that, and it looks ripe for the picking.
Right.
The technology level of the people
That's what I
living
was
in the
gonna say.
shadow is so low that they clearly are not doing anything to
They're
it.
just
like
using
the
it for
technology.
shelter.
Yeah.
I'm not a bad person. I'm not gonna just steal everything. These people are ripe for the picking. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
They just
No.
look like they
The
were
giant
robbed blind.
You
The
just-
giant arm is ripe for the picking. I'm done for that.
Great image. This.
Yeah.
That thing's got like a.
My
predator
character is
face.
not a Numenera person, so he is going to just let your character do the talking, if there is talking
Pupils
to
are
be had,
dilated.
or if there is.
Heck, we just go to the other side of the arm.
Yeah, do we have to interact in our long-term kind of things that we do?
No, you can just be like, okay, we found that, we come back.
Yeah.
If you want, and then you can bring the party to investigate
Yeah,
it
I'm
further.
happy to have like found it for now
Mhm.
and maybe head that way at
We
the
map
end of
it.
our. We have that as an option of a place to go to.
And it's about a 3-day travel, so you spent a good minute like searching through all kinds of different
going out.
ruined structures. There's like along the way you found all kinds of ruined structures that were picked over. You know, this is like an obelisk that's like on its side that like all the wires and everything have been pulled out of. So
I'm so excited.
this particular thing like seemed like the most promising.
A Gundam arm. I mean, a mecha
Or
arm.
whatever it is. It's a big old arm.
What's the name of our not quite community to be?
The Amber Keep.
Okay.
All right. What are other people's long-term tasks?
Mine was to help with that.
Okay.
So
And
I
that
have
one takes
another
a.
one. I think- Was that a month? 1 month?
Yeah,
month.
that is a month.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have 1 or 2
Yeah.
months.
We'll have 2 months.
Two.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'll let them do their first month task before I do my second month task.
My thing is going to take 2 months.
Whoa. Kilu, do you have a 1 month task or a 2 month
Maybe
task?
from the
Neither.
something printed something like that.
Crafting takes smaller amounts of time.
Oh wow.
So I'm considering going for a higher level task than I would normally be able to create, because loss, like a failure on a crafting subtask, simply means that I get to I use
You
up
add
more time. So I'm kind of looking a little bit
Or the
more.
structure has like a weird side effect. Is another option that I get to roll on a table.
You
good
succeed with
side
a
effect?
complication.
Yeah,
Bad side
it's supposed to
effect.
produce Numenera, but it produces slugs.
Well, it's like, it also glows like
Okay.
kind of intensely.
It's supposed to make your food grow faster, but now it grows too fast.
We can't stop it.
Our
All the
tomatoes
squash.
our tomatoes are this big and normal.
That would be hilarious if everything just made giant produce. So it's like you still get the food, but it's kind of harder to deal with. I can't imagine cutting
Yeah.
a tomato that
A
size. It
giant
would just
grape.
be gore everywhere.
yeah.
You would
love
have to
grapes.
drink it. You'd have to cut the top off and drink the tomato.
Oh, no, I can't actually do that because installations
Punch it
actually have
mushy.
a higher. Actually, the one that I want to do is going to take 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. So that will also get some built-in time in case I fail one.
Okay.
But I can't build it yet.
You
I
need
don't
parts.
have the stuff. Come on, more stuff.
More stuff.
Do you need multiple things for the one that you want to build?
I've given Kele my list.
I can't get multiple specific iotum.
Please, 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 please.
We can also.
Wait,
Well,
were
no, you
y'all-
guys salvaged the demon.
Did y'all Oh, did we salvage the demon?
Yeah, we also
Yeah, we
have we
did.
also have 4
did we get for
ciphers
it?
that you guys
You would.
that
we
were
salvaged it. We didn't. Yeah.
that I owe you guys, and you can salvage ciphers as well.
Are you sure? We salvaged the demon?
Yes. And you said, "Don't worry about it. I'll write it down."
Most
and I
definitely.
Said, okay.
Okay, then it must
We would not have left that.
Well, I thought we had said we'll salvage it next week or something like that. We just bring it back to the thing.
No, you guys definitely rolled to salvage it. I
Oh,
recall
okay.
that.
Nice.
We
I
could-
wouldn't
we
have
could pull it
missed
up.
it. So I'm sure we're done.
Everyone watches as we,
We pull out the
stream our
receipts. Yeah.
and it becomes like a weird loop, feedback loop of.
Wednesday nights.
So wait, so are y'all going? Y'all went out to explore.
We found a place.
Yeah, we'll come
You
back and tell you
scouted.
that it looks like a
Yeah.
giant.
We just
robot
discovered it. That was the
Oh, I
action.
do have an image
Discovered
of it too. If that's
arm. Be excited about that.
Oh yeah. All day.
just don't look too hard at it.
Okay.
I'll pull this up.
I'll
Is-
blur my vision.
Gaining a follower must be an option for leveling up for certain characters, huh?
It is, yeah.
That is making a little more sense now.
Okay. I just need the thom dust.
Did you see it, Randy?
Please.
Oh
If
yeah.
Even just
Saw
that.
it up on the screen too.
I'll love you forever. Thom dust. Thom dust.
thing's
Thom
pretty cool.
dust.
I'm gonna search for dust.
Okay.
Here you go, Keith.
Wait, I might be able to do that then. You don't have to use yours.
Well, you don't have the ability to find a specific iota.
that is if I can't convince Keith to let Just kidding. No, I cannot. I can only.
Okay.
I have to roll on the table.
So the difficulty is equal to the level of the iotum sought, and the level of Thomdusk is 6. So this will be a level 6. I know.
Do you need to?
But you're.
6 and
Oh, you can't. Yeah, you're trained in it though.
Yeah.
You can
Yes.
reduce it twice, right? Aren't you specialized?
I am specialized in salvaging.
So it's a level 4 task.
Yeah.
That's still pretty hard. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it'd be a 12.
doable, but that's still like
right?
Yeah, with that, and you can't use effort. Someone could help you in order to reduce it
I'm not
by another
yeah.
step. Do you need, in order to do this particular thing, do you need to go to like a place that has already been salvaged before?
Let's
Does it say
see.
something like that?
Yeah, it has to be in recently discovered scrap. But it doesn't say anything else about that other than that.
I would say that you guys like could you could salvage from the crystal that the Frontex were living in. That's
Okay.
a safe
I would honestly
base that could
also.
have some stuff.
One of my ciphers I don't really care about and wouldn't mind. It's the data spike. I'm like, one day it could be useful, but I've found it really difficult to decide to apply it. It's one of those where it would be helpful if you knew the type of danger you would be facing going into a task in order to give someone training in it.
Well, before we start ripping apart ciphers, I should give you guys the ciphers that I owe you.
That's a good call.
So, let's do first cipher. You guys want to roll a d2 to determine which of this? I guess I'll
can
take it
do
to the
that.
chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Let's take it to the chat.
you better be there, Queen Fugel. It's gonna
Chad
be...
Gollum, don't let me down, bro. Don't let me down.
I need to write a script.
I'm imagining
for a-
Hannah's like
I
rapidly
plug it into my
changing
phone
tabs right
and
now.
then like get the cipher I want.
All right, let me focus this a
We
little
should
bit.
each get
Chat-
our own
chat go
little
vote too. Yes, what if
one
we
of
all
those,
had
and we
one
all
of
had one of
those?
and we all had our
Yes.
own pre-programmed.
That's brilliant. We're all like just like
We all had our own stream decks.
We're all fighting each
It
other.
makes us scream like
Obnoxious.
extremely like vivid. It's like so we're constantly like the Heroes Guild, the Heroes Guild.
All right. Yeah.
Speaking of the Heroes Guild,
Do you only know 2 sentences? Yes.
don't let me down, Chad Gollum. Don't let me down, bro.
All right.
He's giving out answers.
We should, since there's 4 of these, maybe we should just do them.
We can let this one be voted on and we'll
Okay.
the rest.
Okay. We'll
I'll roll one.
on this one. Yeah, D2.
I'll say 20 to 11 is 2. That's a 2.
A 2. This is a true speak. When the device is used on a creature, that creature cannot knowingly speak a lie for 1
Oh,
hour.
heck yes. Zone of truth.
I feel like
That's kind of
Patsy
that's
do
pretty
that?
cool.
I think so,
Patsy
yes.
do that to that.
Patsy
Someone
did
read
do
the
that
dependencies.
to Hunger.
Someone
Yeah.
read the descriptions when it comes to the next one.
That was some
Queen City, thanks for the follow.
Hey,
Queen City bitch. Queen City bitch.
Yeah, the one that's on the camera right now is a portal ring or a perma damp. The
Permadamp.
portal ring is automatically affixes itself to any flat surface on which it's placed. It instantly widens until it reaches 5 feet in diameter. The surface inside the device vanishes, opening a hole through the material or to a depth of 5 feet.
pass through wall.
Yeah, but it, like literally just makes a hole.
Portal ring.
Permadamp coats something that can fit within a 5-foot cube with a gel. The gel remains damp for 1d6 hours. Anything covered by the gel has armor equal to the cipher level against corrosive, electrical, and fire damage. When the effect ends, the gel grows and becomes spongy, like a cake.
Spongy facade, perhaps.
It provides bland nourishment for up to 3 human-sized creatures for 1 day, so you can eat it.
Awesome.
Eat it afterwards,
I
but it's
love
colored.
Wait.
It's colored by the layer.
Do you
That
put
is
it
so
on and then when it's
utilitarian.
done,
I know.
you eat it off?
I think
love
it
Yeah.
tastes differently based on what kind of damage it's absorbed too. That's important.
Agreed.
If it's soaked up fire damage or electrical damage,
Spicy.
That is charged.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Voting number
I
2.
want people to eat
Okay.
cake too. To eat permadamp cake.
Looks like we got
Permadamp.
perma-damn.
you did it right the first time.
Boom.
Permadamp.
Thank you.
I can't carry any more ciphers.
I have one right now, which is a magnetic master, which I never got an opportunity to write down, and I don't think I have it in here.
I have one good one.
I can probably tell you
we
what it
haven't
is.
used yet.
Mega Master.
Access key. Like opens up any door, right? Yeah.
I remember.
Nice.
I kind of remember what the magnetic.
So hopefully we can use
Is it
that
a-
on the
it's
big
a cipher?
on the big
Yeah.
hand.
Next vote is an optical deployer. Once initiated, the device manipulates the path of electromagnetic radiation through specific parts of the light spectrum. In doing so, it shields the user from view, essentially rendering them invisible for 1 hour.
Ooh.
Or a remote sensorium allows the user to create a replica of one of her sensory organs and place it in a remote location up to a mile away.
my ear and put it here and then
Yes.
listen through it.
It's when you're like, wait. Is
Yep.
that an ear on
You can-
the
you
door?
can-
Yeah, literally. I think that's an ear.
Yep, you can.
Wait, the hills have eyes, literally. Somebody put their eyes
I
all
think
over
there's
it.
an eyeball on that
What's his
rock
name?
over
The
there.
Surgeon of Death.
Trafalgar Law.
Yeah, he like you know you take your heart out of somebody and then like, well, I got it now.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I love it.
Votes are rolling in.
They're coming in hot too.
Coming in
Look at
hot.
that. Check going two.
All right, excellent.
It is
Looks
not in
like
this book.
remote sensorium. You guys have a eye, ear, or
God,
sense
like
organ
the chat
up
is
to a
in my
mile away.
favorite.
Voting for the weird ones, certainly. Yeah.
Of course, this is Numenera.
Perma
It's
damn.
also meta Joe.
Yeah. Last one. This is a Photon Igniter, which sounds like a weapon of some kind that inflicts damage, or a coma detonation, which puts people unconscious.
Ooh, how many people does it affect?
That sounds like
immediate radius. Living creatures fall unconscious for a number of rounds equal to the cipher level, or until violently shaked or slapped or damaged.
Love it.
That sounds like a game master nightmare right there.
Yeah.
Your people
Put to
are
sleep
done.
half of your characters right now.
Man.
Hey, that's how to do it.
I mean, it's no jamming a cipher down on Aranth Grask's throat, but yeah,
Few things are.
it could get the job done.
Hey man.
I have
He
to-
has a certain way about him.
Why don't you guys roll for this one? Then you'll have two
Evens or
voted and-
odds?
Yeah.
Alright, evens are 2, odds are 1. Odds. Photon Igniter it is. Would you like that?
I already have 2.
Oh, well, I think that I guess just put it out and we can decide. This is hilarious. I imagine when in a like video game when your inventory is full and you just throw shit on the ground. And
Yeah,
you
yeah,
and
totally.
are
Picking it
sorting
up and we're all
through it.
just
Yeah,
standing
we're
around.
like-
Or you make a new character who's just the hold my shit person.
backwards.
It's also like Diablo, where when you go to set it on the ground, it's like flies around like crazy. Ding! Yeah. Makes those huge noises so that you always know when the new items hit the ground.
I was thinking of Minecraft where you like throw it.
Oh, okay.
Just don't throw it in the lava.
I know
It's
that
gone.
has totally happened to me before.
My pick! No! All right, so you guys can choose which ones to get rid of, and they can be broken down.
I believe we needed 4. Did we get 4?
Yes, there's one
Okay.
over by Daniel.
Oh, true speak.
Is that? Do you see that magnetic master in there, or is it something that's
It is
maybe
not in
only
here.
in here? All right, I'll see if I can find it.
Well, it may be in one of the other books too.
Do you have all the ciphers you can
That's
hold?
true.
I have space for one more.
I feel like I can.
I always have space for ciphers.
Well,
That might
my
take a while,
ciphers
but
are
that
in.
whole deck is.
Keith, did you hand
Yeah, I
out
know.
the
Monte.
envelopes?
Doc, thanks for joining us.
Howdy.
Ho there.
Hi.
Howdy.
Did you hand out the cipher envelopes?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I still had mine. I just didn't actually have my cipher in it.
Shit.
I did not have mine.
7. That's incredibly difficult.
Whoa, the back of the refrigerator.
There it
Back
is,
of the
magnetic
fridge.
master. Boom. Wasn't so bad.
Damn it. I have some plans that I unfortunately rolled really well on the cipher level. Oh, I guess that doesn't matter. The cipher level doesn't matter in this case.
I think there's a minimum cipher. Yeah, when you're crafting it, you get to pick how high, but there's a minimum.
I can't find the intellect rejuvenation field's like crafting difficulty.
Percent number, Randy.
It
It might be. I think it's a generic thing at the beginning of the crafting.
Okay.
Numenera like tables and stuff.
Oh, it's ciphers work a little bit differently.
Yeah, ciphers. I mean.
I don't want to get rid of these. These ones are like actually useful.
Well, I think I definitely want to break apart Data Spike.
I have a heal and an access token. I think we just haven't had to like unlock a door very many times.
Yeah.
Then I should just.
But we might have to when we get to that. If we go back to the big.
Giant hand.
Yeah, it might be. I am gonna look up how to break stuff apart because I'm not familiar with
So we
that.
got True Speak and
I'm kind of maybe curious about the remote sensorium, I guess, is the one that I'm the most interested in.
yeah.
I mean, the tree speech also could be pretty good for facts since I'm good at like detecting. I'm already
What
good
is-
at detecting
What
lies.
is this
so-
one for us?
It's the Photon Igniter by roll of dice.
Okay.
That's what I
pick
couldn't
which one
remember
you
because
like,
it was
and I'll take the other one of those probably because this doesn't sound very.
God, the
increase
remote
the level.
sensorium's just so gross. I'm imagining just putting a nose on a wall or something. And you're like, I can smell things in this area.
You accidentally put a nose in that place where we were with all the armpit juice.
Yeah. Oh God. Ooh. That's just a nasty prank that you play on somebody else. Is you do the remote
Who's the-
sensorium and you.
Who's the community leader that you don't have a good relationship
Tasala?
with?
Sala.
Yeah.
Do it to her.
Prank Tasala with the remote sensor.
Got your nose.
Uh-huh.
Got your nose.
And then put it in like a vial of some nasty stuff that Forfax is cooking up in his lab.
You'll never not smell it.
I totally have thought of slowly undermining the authority of the leader of this place so that they become a puppet leader. Where the
You could do that.
Oh, I plan to.
Man, something that's kind of strange about the remote sensorium is it doesn't have any sort of a. It's like 1 mile away, but there's no time limit on it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just there.
It's just there. So as long as you like don't use another one, you can always like queue into that thing and check in on it.
That's pretty rad. You could have a permanent ear set up
Yes.
somewhere.
Yeah,
You could leave one at the base.
That's
and
pretty
you could,
cool.
You could spy on people and
And you
stuff
could
with
put
it.
permadamp around
I guess
it. So
until
it's like
they
a permadamp.
Find the
Until they
ear
find an
and
ear
do
and-
what with it?
Screaming.
I think this room's bugged, guys. There's just an ear on the bottom of a mug or something.
Daniel, I think you're on 144. I just happened to see it's the setting minimum crafting level for ciphers.
Or you rip an ear off.
I'm totally doing
a
the remote
statue.
sensorium.
Awesome.
Ripping
And actually,
off
the
a
page before it
statue
has,
and
like,
put
that just
it
seems like
on-
fun.
the table with minimum crafting levels for ciphers as well
144.
on Destiny. There's like a
Is this one unclaimed? Or
sidebar
did
that
you
says setting minimum
grab
crafting.
permanent?
That's what you're looking for, right?
Did you
Yeah,
take
Minimum crafting
permanent?
level stuff.
Oh no, I
I've
was
seen
just
that on
looking at it.
Oh,
Sorry.
so we still. Well,
This is
I
a
was
different-
just
Sorry,
wondering
142.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I was reading.
Are you full on
Yes.
ciphers and okay? So
Yeah.
you're gonna
I've got
they put it in a
two, and I
purple
think I
box.
should keep. Yeah, I've got.
that's always
one
like
heal
extra
and
information to
two.
me. Like, I'm
Oh.
looking for shit in the columns. I'm never looking in purple
Oh
boxes.
no, that's important.
I guess so.
The more you
I guess
know.
it's supposed to stand out. I'm just a fool.
Well, I know what I'm doing with my long-term move.
All right.
Forfax is, I think, probably getting a couple other of the folks that are here at the Amber Keep to kind of help him. And he goes out one day with like a bunch of like chains and stuff, and is maybe a little bit like mysterious to you guys about what he's up to, and returns with a. I think Keith, if it's cool, I'm gonna do the burrow cat.
That sounds awesome.
And particularly, these are Methinian burrow cats that live in the Methinian desert. Mm-hmm. And yeah, gosh, I had that picture, but I mean, imagine they look very much like big tigers, basically. This one being a desert one. I'm seeing it being kind of my Siberian tiger-esque, and I'll figure out how to make it look more weird later. Maybe I'll draw it or something. But this creature, when Forfax brings it back to the camp, is absolutely wild, right? Like maybe there's some sort of a cage or something that he's got it in on a cart, and it is just completely a crazy, wild creature. But over 2 months, he works with it, and Forfax, being able to adjure the Leviathan, basically slowly pulls like the kind of the evil. Like kind of blood hunting, hungering for flesh sort of like element out of it to make it tame enough to be a creature that he can ride. Particularly wanting to have a mount to ride. Yeah, it's a mount.
Nice.
Because the Angulan knighthood normally gives their knights Z-drakes, and Forfax should have received his by now, but it was held back from him. So I think he is kind of pissed about that, so he's getting his own mount in his own way, and I have to choose assets for it. So if I do 2 months to acquire this follower, then it's a level 2 follower, and I think that it has 2 assets is what that means. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check that. And I will look up what they are. There is no particulars about that creature. But for now, I was thinking hunting, because it does hunt for flesh. It does like hunger for flesh. So some sort of kind of general like tracking sort of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Sniffing the ground and stuff, right?
Okay.
And some sort of movement.
Yeah.
Running or leaping.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I want to like keep that up in the air a little bit as I think about it, but
that sounds awesome.
yeah, running or leaping. I don't think like climbing or anything crazy like that. It's basically a tiger, a big, huge tiger that he can ride.
Cool.
So after 2 months, this cat becomes calm enough, and eventually just seems like it's totally docile, right? And even around other people. Maybe you guys are untrusting of it, but Forfax, if anybody comes up after it's properly trained, he's like, there's no more Leviathan within it. It won't harm you.
Awesome.
Sweet.
And I'm gonna name it and stuff. I don't know what that's gonna be yet.
Can you describe what it looks like again?
Yeah, it is it's a razor cat, I think is the normal creature. And a razor cat is normally a rank 5 monster, so they're pretty nasty. But it specifically said in the book that there are smaller versions of them called burrow cats. So I'm taking it a step further to say that there are burrow cats that live here in the Methinian desert that are like icy ones. Oh, that was the wrong page that I had recalled.
I think
I will pull up the image once I figure out where it is.
I think Kele has nicknamed it Dig Dug.
Yeah.
He used to play. So every time he gets
Dig
around
Dug.
it, he just calls it that.
That's cute.
And it probably gets on Forfax's nerves, but
That is not its name. It has not been named yet.
yes, it is. As I'm like petting it under its chin.
So at the 1 month mark, you still have this wild animal bouncing around in this cage, and like you're doing your like weird like taming the Leviathan thing on it, and occasionally it'll just like lash out and claw at the cage and just freak out and howl, and you guys are like repeatedly woken in the middle of the night as this thing is like just like making its weird in heat sounds and whatnot.
Accurate.
And after 1 month, of work, the wall has been totally repaired, and I'm gifting you guys this glorious map of the Amber Keep, which is for the explicit purpose of being drawn upon. So you're welcome to. You can see the dotted lines where the where the wall was
So now
not
it's
finished
prepared?
and broken down, and it has
Does
been.
anybody else want the honors of drawing?
Absolutely not. I've already discussed how my drawing goes at Heroes Guild.
Yeah.
Well, you are gonna get to draw some.
I'm made fun of by
Some
10-year-olds.
You'll get to draw installations and whatnot as you build
Drawing
them.
sucks. I can't even tell what it is.
Like, really try.
Yeah, Doc. I think you're right. If you do like chicken, you can technically say I hunger for flesh. So maybe we all hunger for flesh. There's a Leviathan in all of us. A little bit, a little one.
Teeny tiny little
Reasonable question.
So the walls have been finished. Visso is proudly.
Yeah, that was no easy task.
And they're celebrating the laborers.
Oh yeah. That's pretty cool.
And a second. At that point, the people who helped him build the wall are going out and scavenging more like logs and stone and scrap synth and whatnot, because they're going to start working on a water catchment in order to like a basically
Is
like
that
a
like a
big
cistern?
a big like basin that will catch rainwater that can like help. That's Visso's next plan to work on. And around the 1 month time, another expedition of
I don't know if that would be visible there quite like that. I don't really want
Let's
to
see.
move the camera too much. Oh, look at that!
Look at that.
Right in
Beautiful.
the frame. There.
The eyeballs are glowing. Really
Yeah,
well.
there is a shot of a razor cat, which is being ridden by Lauric priests, which is ultimately how I found the picture. I looked at the priesthood. So I'm getting a slightly smaller version of that that's a desert cat.
Sweet. It must burrow too, though. It must be good at digging.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm imagining it being burrow cats, as in like burrows, like places where dead bodies are,
Oh yeah.
like burrow whites.
No, that's barrow.
Though that is how it's spelled. Sorry,
Oh,
it is
oh.
barrow cat.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm saying the
okay.
wrong word. I apologize.
I see.
Yep.
A drawable map equals high quality GM. Well, it actually comes with the module, which is so cool. And they're basically like encourage your players to draw on it and build
really?
installations. And
High
stuff.
quality
Yeah.
module.
Totally, it's very cool.
Easy cool.
And admittedly, I found the Destiny rules to be like initially a little intimidating, and so this module is really exciting to me. That you're like one whole arc of the module is like kind of walking the players through building up this settlement, right? I think that's a really cool element. Kind of guides it. So around that time, as work starts to be started on the water catchment, another expedition arrives, and around 50 people.
Whoa.
This one was just like with people and a bit of like food and supplies in order to build up the base, and they immediately, they're excited to see you guys and like all sorts of different kinds of people and
several builders and whatnot, and they all start working on like houses and whatnot. Everybody's kind of
They
crowded.
better, because we just have 3 burned huts right now.
Yes. So,
Did you find anything out about
and Danielle still has a thing.
breaking down?
No, I didn't.
So do I.
Okay. I can look too.
Yeah, you
depending
could
on
search.
which-
I think I have a feeling that the difficulty of salvaging it is going to be, well,
based on the
it's going to be the level of the cipher. This would be my guess. That salvaging it is going to be the level of the cipher, and the highest level item you could get from it is also based on the level of the cipher. That would be
That
like
makes
my
sense.
my guess.
Yeah.
Based on my understanding of the way that they kind of have this stuff going. But we can just go with that as kind of a rule of thumb for my thumb, if that sounds good. But you're gonna have to roll to figure out what the
Cipher level is.
Yeah.
Oh, we can use somebody special.
And I guess we have 1 cipher in surplus, so I guess I should choose one and cannibalize the other.
Can we keep ciphers if we
store
wanted to?
them?
Like, we do have this base.
Yeah,
It seems
why not?
reasonable that we could.
They can't be close to each other though.
That's what I was gonna say. Is there such a thing as a cipher storage?
We just put one over here and one over
Yeah.
there. We can have as many ciphers as there are points on the interesting polyhedral shape that is
Yeah.
the amber cube. I'm cool doing that. I'm cool with just keeping these.
I'm cool with
And
either.
the
I wasn't
key.
suggesting that you needed to keep them, but just that was
I
also
don't
an
think that I
option.
can. Yeah, I think
If
I
you
could
didn't
only
want to cannibalize it.
cannibalize one, and I'm kind of pissed at the data spike for some reason. I've been building resentment for it.
Yeah, that's what you've been building for the last month. Is
Yeah.
resentment.
Always.
You're just staring at it at night, like.
Hashtag relentless delve.
Truth.
Yeah, it seems like a big hassle. You have to insert it into the base of someone's neck, but it immediately allows them to access the data sphere and download information about a randomly determined skill. So I feel like it's a huge crapshoot.
You're like,
You're probably gonna get.
But then,
And-
they'll get trained
I
in the
know.
skill.
Cooking.
Yeah, or specialize if they're already trained for a number of hours equal to the cipher level.
Oh,
So I'm like,
yeah.
this has a lot of like
Yeah. Okay.
room for error, and it deals a installing it and removing it deals 1 point of damage that ignores armor.
Yeah. Okay. Break it down. Yeah. Roll to see what level it is.
It's level 5, of course.
Nice.
Sorry.
But that's good because you
That's
get a higher
happening
level.
on the other side of the.
So, but that
That's
means
how you
that I
pull the
I
Leviathan
won't be
out.
able to find the specific item that I'm looking for because that specific item is level 6.
Could you use effort to?
I'm cool with it. As a generous GM. You're welcome, guys.
Oh my god.
Benevolent GM who raises the stakes.
Yep. You're looking for thom dust.
That just means that someone else
Yes.
bad's gonna
Too close to the thong.
All right.
What if it
So.
was benevolent GM
What if you
who
increase the
raises the
difficulty
stakes?
on me?
Ooh, delicious. That's delicious.
spelled differently.
Well,
And I've
in this
run my
particular,
game. Oh, that's what I'll do.
in salvaging, you can technically spend effort,
Oh.
right? Because it's in the moment. So,
That's so
I'm
good.
cool with you spending effort on that.
Okay.
But this is going to require 2 rolls when
Okay.
you look for a specific item. It
Yes.
requires a second salvage roll.
Okay.
Oh, even with the long-term task?
Well, I think that it doesn't make sense to do the long-term task if I'm just
Oh.
breaking apart a cipher, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
this
this is what you're up to. You're breaking it
Yeah.
down. A cipher to try to get. I see.
Yes, because
I see.
I guess, well, you said we could go back and look at the crystal.
Yeah, you could search that as a long-term task for
Yeah.
Iotum.
Let's do that and I'll do this later.
Okay.
Now that we've gotten all queued up to do it. But I'll remember that it is level 5.
Well, Daniel, what are you doing with your?
So,
Kele.
were you successful?
Well, I guess that maybe I should do it now because he's
waiting for
he's
the-
waiting on me. Okay.
All right. So the first one will be difficulty 5.
Okay, and I will apply.
Or 6, sorry, because you're looking for this. Well, the source level, we'll just say it's 5. 5 on this.
Okay.
But you're specialized, right, in salvaging?
Yes,
So then that lowers it to a 3.
and
Don't forget, as you're doing this, Kele is standing right behind you, looking over your shoulder.
Yeah. You can apply effort.
I definitely am going to apply effort.
Yeah, because that means almost nothing.
that it?
You'll sleep it
Well,
off immediately.
I'll keep it and apply it to the next task. Like you
It's
said.
not necessary.
No, I'll do what
Okay.
I want, Keith.
Okay.
I got an 11.
It scared me for a half second.
Oh yeah, I did that rock back and forth.
Well, yeah.
All right, and then give me another one.
looked like
This
like a
this
1.
time it is going to be a 6.
Applying
Because you
effort
are seeking out the
again.
level 6, yeah.
Oh Lord. Okay. So I am specialized and I am applying effort.
So that'll lower it to a 3. So you're looking for a 9 on the dice.
Oh, that's a 12.
Sweet.
Nice.
All right. You're praying for a bit of thom dust, and you're actually like in the process getting really nervous because like, you know,
Because someone's standing right over my
Kele is
shoulder.
like hovering right over your shoulder, and you're like, look, this is totally some, you know, pliable synth or whatnot, and it's like, yeah, but I need thom dust, and you're like, well, I could break this apart in order to maybe find some thom dust on the inside, but then we're ruining like good iotum, and it's like, I need thom dust, really need it. So you manage to find it at its core. Give me a d6 roll.
That's a 6!
Six units.
Yes!
What?
Awesome!
Dang.
6 units of thondas?
Lucky.
Another thing to note is that the last column on this chart, the value per unit, IO is like kind of a trade currency, like it's like pennies. So you could actually trade iotum with other people and be like, this thing is worth 20 IO, and so I'll give 2 things that are worth 10 IO, like, and then you can barter.
So how much is the thom worth?
The thom is worth 30 IO per unit.
Wow!
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is very... Sorry, Randy. I'm
So we'll say-
petting you while trying to turn the page.
My hand's kind of in your face. Like,
We'll say timing wise that happened like at the beginning of this month, so that Daniel
Cool.
can build something. You can build something now. You got the stuff. Yes, the goggles.
I stow away for after I get this thing. I am in my crafting space for the entire. I sleep in there. I live in there. No one hears from me except for when I come out and visit
I'm gonna focus on the build.
Josh's cat.
Yeah.
Dig Dug, and I like go in there even when I try to sneak in there when he doesn't expect me to be there to try to get a look at the cat.
I feel like Forfax is
The thing's gonna bite
nothing
you.
if not vigilant.
Yeah, you sneak in there and Forfax isn't in there, but there is a glass jar with an eyeball in it sitting in. No, I don't actually use my
And I'm like,
thing, but you just walk in, there's just an eye staring back at you.
That would be awesome.
okay.
Creepy.
So the thing that I will be attempting to craft
Yes.
is an ever-flowing fountain.
Yes.
We're in the desert, right?
Yeah.
I want water. I think
Sweet.
this would be very valuable.
It's a installation.
It is an installation.
What
it
is-
looks like this. Actually.
Yes.
All right, where do you want it on the map?
I will describe it.
Okay. What's its level?
I looked at
What's
the
its
Well,
wrong
I gotta
thing.
build it
The
first.
small one on the right.
I gotta
Yeah.
build it.
Nah,
Oh, this one.
Yeah, that's. I
It's
looked at
not
that
this
one too. I
gigantic
thought too. Let's say.
Whoa, so cool! Oh, it's this bird fountain?
Heroes Guild me, okay?
I mean, really, there's big difference between those two things.
That's super cool. Oh, that one.
Gigantic. Yeah.
Yeah, well, mine's cooler, okay?
Okay, I believe you. I believe you.
Here's the specifications. This plant produces a
That's
fixed
pretty much right.
crystal bowl about 5 feet
all day.
across on a short pedestal. Pure water constantly jets up from the center of the bowl before falling back and filling the bowl to overflowing. No source of water is required. The fountain produces about 10 gallons of pure, potable water per day, enough to satisfy the water requirements of 20 normal humans per day. This
Awesome.
device adds +5 to the community's infrastructure.
Wow.
Awesome.
So a fancy bird bath. I was correct.
Yes.
Yeah, but one that is like
Fabricating
fabricating water from
Yeah,
particles
it's like.
and-
I said
that-
fancy. Fancy bird bath.
So it is a minimum crafting level of 6,
Okay.
and then +2 for the installation. So its total crafting value is 8. And how this works is, I have to do like subtasks per assessed value.
Okay.
So each one goes up by 3. So typically that would be a lot. But I am going
But your
to
assessed value will be reduced by your specialized.
Yeah.
So it'll be back down to a 6.
Correct. So my highest one, the last one I have to get is an 18. But I think that that's okay, because if I fail, I'll be losing time
Yeah.
not necessarily.
You just won't get it done in time.
Yeah, I may not get it done depending on the roll.
And,
Oh, gotcha.
And difficulty 6 is probably what, 4 weeks?
It is 1 month.
1 month. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you take the 1 month and you split it into 6 parts, and that's when like the rolls happen.
Yeah. So I
It's
just
kind of weirdly complicated, but
So every 5
I
days.
could not figure out like if I failed, how much time goes by.
it
Though.
does sound like a bidet, like a magic bidet.
Does how much time do I lose on a failed roll? Is it like a sixth of a month?
Yeah, you'll lose the 5 days. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So the first roll is a difficulty 1, so it'll be a 3, and so you automatically succeed
Why is
on the
that?
first couple rolls because you're specialized.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. So the first one you succeed without a roll. The second one you succeed without a roll. The third one is a difficulty 1 is reduced to a 1.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So then you just need to roll 3.
I see how that works. Okay. Oh, I hope I can do that. That would be embarrassing if I didn't. And there's nothing else I can use effort on these? I think I cannot use effort,
but
on
you can get someone to help you
on the subtasks, right?
Yeah. And I think Visso.
And I thought I could. I think I misread that.
Yeah, I think we could say Visso because his was only 3 weeks. His wall.
And what is 1/6 of a month? 30 divided by
5
6.
days.
5. So he'd have 5 days left over, right? So he could help me with one of the later tasks,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah. Okay.
Or
so
do-
right now you're rolling to a 3+ to get the third. Right. The first 2 were free,
Yeah.
and then the third one is a difficulty 1 because it's reduced twice.
Yeah. Okay.
So you just need a 3 on the dice. Did you roll that one?
Yes.
No! Oh my god!
Okay. I'll roll something weird on the table
Okay.
for that one.
Every time this happens, I'm like, spend the fate token, spend the fate
Yeah,
token.
you can spend an XP.
Hilarious. But I was looking for a 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I lose. And how is he helping me?
I could be a jerk and say that you lose an iotum in the process. Would it be devastating if
that
you
is
lost
an-
the thumb dust?
I mean, no, it would not.
Okay. Rather than the random effect, we'll
Because I
say.
found freaking 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Well, actually, I think it'll be both because it's a nat 1. So this is
We're
a free
rolling in
geometry
thumbs right now.
So what did it say? Sorry,
It wasn't
about
at
like
1,
you could either lose time or something else.
We're
right?
all thumbs.
In the end, we're all thumbs.
Instead, the crafter merely loses time. A failure means the time spent on the crafting roll wouldn't succeed. The crafter fails twice in a row on the same subtask. The character can continue crafting, but in addition to losing another interval of craft time, 1 unit of iotum of the highest level iotum.
Okay.
Used, which
So you
is
don't
that.
lose any iotum, but I'll roll a random.
Okay.
I will roll a major random effect on this thing, and I'll pull that up.
All right.
When we have time. So okay, then we'll,
I may not succeed at this, y'all. I may have gotten
Bit
this
knocked more than you could chew.
correct.
Come on.
Oh my lord.
Spit it out then.
No.
What?
Roll a 2.
You should not have been feeding Dig Dug. in the
I
middle of the
know.
night.
I did this to myself.
Why haven't you been practicing your rolling?
All right, so I lose.
yeah, you should have been practicing your.
I have been. Andy. I've been at
There it
home
is.
every night. I don't go out to see friends.
He just
I
sits
just
at home and rolls the dice, records it, and goes back and watches to see where you can make improvements.
All right, so you've used 20. You got 20.
Come to
days
my
down,
channel.
right? 5, 10, 15, 20. You've done 4 rolls, and so you're 20 days down, but you've only succeeded on 2.
I can't finish, right?
I mean, you got 2 months,
Oh, that's right. I can go into my other.
and we can extend it beyond 2 months depending. Maybe
Okay,
I'm generous.
so I'm going to.
He says
I'm going to
benevolently.
lose. I'm going to lose one thumb, I guess, because of the.
yeah, you
two
did roll
failed.
2. Yeah.
Braces?
So far, so good. That's a 15.
There
All right.
you go.
All right, so then you have a 6 on the dice, right? Because it
Yep.
goes up by 1 step every.
Yep.
So now it's a challenge 2.
Mm-hmm.
Nat 20.
Yes.
What happens
Does
there?
it say
It says nothing about 1s or 20s that I've read in the multiple successes for crafting subtasks.
How about it reduces the
There
major
you go.
weirdness that you had before to a minor?
Yeah, or it gives you. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's
sounds
two
great.
different tables for like weird things.
You correct whatever.
Do you have any more
fatal
rolls, or was that
design
the last
flaw.
one?
Yeah, I've got.
It's gonna say it could give you an asset on the next one.
Two
maybe,
more.
if you wanted it instead.
Right, it was a 6 assessed difficulty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done 4 successes so far.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
2 more.
So
it
the-
could maybe give you an asset on another one.
Yeah,
That's up to you.
That's another option.
So I'll take I'll take the major because I'm pumped about random
Something
major
weird.
okay,
weirdness.
and reducing
And
the
reduce the
difficulty.
next one. So this one is still a 6.
Okay, and
Yeah.
this. Okay, so it's still a. It's wait.
It's
it's 5. Wait.
Yes, that's right. It would be a
6 on
challenge
the dice.
level
Yes.
3.
Now
It's still a challenge level 2 because you're using the assets.
Yes. Yeah.
And the next time it'll be a 4 for the very last one.
Nat 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Yes. All right, so you can keep the asset on the next one.
Yes,
And at this
absolutely.
point, Visso is done and is intrigued by this fountain that you've been building. And he had all these laborers, like being after they finished the wall, bringing in stone and whatnot to build a fountain. And he's been like very dubious this whole time of your structure. And you are at the point where it's like just starting to work, but you have
Yes.
the last step left to it. So you like turn it on, and it's like sprays like water all over the place. And he's like, okay, all right, I see
It's like-
that you're getting to something, and he volunteers to help you.
Oh,
in which case you get an asset.
Okay.
He's a right. He's like a NPC right.
So this is another.
It would normally be a difficulty 6, right? And you're trained and specialized. You're getting an asset from the dice and an asset from him.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a difficulty 2.
Shoot.
This is very appropriate. I just remembered the connection between the party and those 3 characters was that
There it is,
annoys
19.
the crap out of Visa.
I nailed
He
it.
was the
He
one.
annoys the crap out of Visa.
Yeah, because
That's
he's
their
like kind
connection.
of a weird space.
It's also great.
installation.
It's also great that I'm working on something that Vissa was also working.
Yeah, that was like his plan. His orders from Tasala, right? But Tasala like knows that you're like kind of a crazy genius and doesn't tell you what to do with your installations.
Yes.
It's like so long as they help the settlement,
Whatever.
right?
I nailed it. I got a 19.
Excellent. All right.
Awesome.
It sputters to life. Give me that book real quick because I got to see what its weird thing is.
I'm so excited.
And it's gonna be a major.
Oh,
too,
that started
right?
off real bad, y'all, and that got real good.
That's so
Yeah,
good.
well, yeah, you rolled a 1 and a 2, and then you rolled 2 20s and then a 19.
Yeah.
Oh, you rolled 2 20s in a row?
Yeah.
That was
And then a 19 for the third
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
That was bizarre how that worked. Whew. I was stressed.
All right, major secondary effect. Give me a D100, and maybe we should roll this on the
Ooh.
cam.
D hundo.
On the cam.
On
a
the
D
cam.
hundo. Come on in. Whoa, do you want the gravity well in there?
Apparently not.
47.
47.
47.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah, they are great.
These are my dice from high school, you guys. Mm-hmm. I've been playing with these dice for a very, very,
Yes.
very long time.
Develops an antagonistic personality.
Yes!
This is the water fountain that when you're trying to like fill something, it like sprays you in
sprays
the
you.
face, right? Or it just repeatedly changes the stream, so it's just like hard to.
When you
like,
really
fill.
need to fill something up fast, it just drips and
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's like.
And when you got like something small, it's like
It gushes.
Fire
It's like
And you move away from it, and it goes back to
Yeah.
normal.
that is
That,
awesome.
that sink that spits out air for the first half second,
All right,
just
where
like
did you build it?
belches out the
Yeah.
gas.
Where's your water fountain?
Yes.
I think because this is the first piece, I think it would be as close to the center of town.
It is the well as well. It seems fitting that it would be.
Yeah.
I also bestow upon you guys the character sheet for your settlement.
Oh!
Oh!
So you can put under important structures the
Nice. Look at that. Important NPCs, important structures,
and then you'll also be kind of tracking its
health,
stats.
infrastructure. Yeah, cool. Damn.
Awesome!
So how many days was that? It was how many rolls did I do? I did.
You ended up doing 2 extra rolls, right?
Yeah. So that's 6 times.
So it'd be 10 extra days to whatever it was.
Oh, whoa, that was weird. That
important NPCs, we certainly could put down folks that we got.
A month or what was it originally?
It was so I did
Yeah, it
6
was
plus the 2 extra rolls.
Yeah, and it was.
Because I did the 1,
said it was a
2,
month.
2020, 19. Yeah, and then the first 2 were because of the specialized stuff, right?
What's
Yeah,
the name
yeah.
of this?
Did that was that all? Did we do that right?
Yeah.
The first 2 rolls I didn't have to make, but they still
Because they were like
applied to
difficulty
my-
1 and 2, and if you're specialized, then you don't have to roll anything because it makes it a 0.
But I thought that those took away from its assessed value.
It did that too.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, being trained and specialized
So it
takes
took
away
you
from
7 weeks to do it, it seems like.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Or not 7 weeks,
6
but 7... you were doing 5 days for each one.
Yeah. And
So
it was
it took-
8
yeah.
rolls total.
8
so
rolls
8,
total.
8 times
40
5
days.
is 40 days.
So
yeah.
I've got probably like
20 days
less than
left.
3 weeks.
40 days and 40 nights you made water come.
Yeah, y'all have to call me Noah or something. Awesome.
We don't.
Partying the water fountain.
Yes, you do, Kelly.
That is definitely one of the things that it'll do every now and then.
You go to dip into it and it just pours out. And you're like,
I come bursting out of this place for like 1
Ever-flowing
month.
fountain,
It
I
is
think it was.
the ever-flowing agitate. What was it?
Ever flowing? No, that's different.
What was its personality?
It's got an antagonistic.
Antagonistic personality.
Ever-flowing fountain. And again, we get +5 to community
Well done for
infrastructure.
Infrastructure, I think it was. Yeah.
community bonuses.
It might be good to write down the page of
I
that.
feel a
thing,
little
too.
bit selfish in my.
I went straight up
In my
selfish for my
choice.
first choice, but
Also, I
That's
have
his thing, though.
I have
Was
community
building.
builder as a special ability when actively working for the community. +3 to infrastructure.
Oh.
Nice.
Whoa, jeez, your character's all benevolent and shit.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
My character's a little more selfish. He's out here for a purpose.
Did the walls
I do
add
the-
anything to
I
the
do the-
infrastructure?
The damage.
Yeah, I'll have to
Yes.
double check that.
Make sure
Okay.
people
I
don't
know
get
that you said it,
Yeah.
but I didn't write it down.
It's under like
So I have to
the
make sure that I'm ready to
defensive
do
structures,
more
page
damage.
126.
Okay.
And they're working on houses now at this point because everybody's crowded in the same couple houses. And then they're working on a kind of a tavern like building.
Can I see that book again if you're not using it? Oh, it's this. Never mind.
Yeah.
Grab.
All right, so the month has passed.
squeeze out.
I'm going to, but I'll wait till he gets there.
What are you guys doing at this point?
Should we do freeze frames or should we wait till after our second month?
Yeah, break.
No. Sorry.
Oh, freeze frames. Yeah, we could do montages for like your action that you did.
For the month.
Yeah,
If
I
you
think
wanted to
Josh
say that.
kind of described his
Yeah.
in a montage fashion.
Yeah, there's a moment of Forfax in front of the cage, and he's almost in like a meditative, like sort of like legs crossed sort of
Yeah.
stance, and like kind of like hands out to this beast, and the beast is like looking at him, and finally a moment where like after months of it being locked in the cage, he like unlocks it,
Oh,
and the crease the beast crawls out and is sort of standing there, just having that face to face moment, but he's confidently like controlling the Leviathan still at this point.
Nice.
And taking notes. Eventually, Forfax definitely wants to have some sort of a lab where he can do his like studies, which is the thing he'll be talking to you about. But for
Nice.
now, just doing it in like a tent
Yeah,
or
I feel like
wherever.
one of your tasks you can build a workshop, right? One of your
I can
unique tasks.
operate a workshop.
You
I
can't
don't-
build one.
I don't
Maybe
think
the first
so.
time you operate it, you build it. Maybe in the
It's in
description.
the. I have it here.
Yeah, I think would Jax also able to do that? I think.
Yes,
I noticed
two people
two
were able to
classes
do that.
could do that.
Operate workshop. A right can establish a business within a community where they can collect, fix, upgrade, help others keep their minor Numenera items, including oddities, in working order. This provides the community benefit of 1 to the infrastructure each month that the workshop is operated. So
I couldn't
it kind of
interpret
sounds
which
like you
right.
kind of build it. Like
What does it say at the very
a right
first
can
sentence?
establish a business.
Establish,
So
yeah.
it sounds like you kind of.
Yeah, I
And
think
I
the first
thought
time you
about
do
that.
it, you would establish it.
I
yeah.
thought about doing that, but I'm glad I didn't since my task went over my month. So. Cool. Well, I know that mine is like when I finally get the thing working. I've been locked away for a month after like getting my thumb from Kele, and I am like, when I finally get it working, I'm like freeze framed in the air, just screaming, tears flying from my face with joy. I'm probably holding
There's
like a
lens
wrench.
flare.
Yes. My, like you can see probably my thunder harness over in the corner, just sitting there, like, backpack sort of dripping off the table, and next to, as soon as I got it truly working, Visso is standing there in amazement, except like the ever-flowing fountain in it is very antagonistic, so it has immediately squirted him in the
I bet
face.
it
So it's
hates
just being
Visso especially.
blasted by this, and I'm just like, yeah.
I would love for it, like, the only person that it cares about or doesn't show any antagonistic tendencies towards is its creator. I feel like that's appropriate. That, like, he
It's almost like my
uses
really
it with
annoying
no
pet.
problem.
Like,
and everybody
everyone
else
else
gets...
is like,
I like that.
it's great to have, but everyone's slightly annoyed by it. It's like, why
Yeah.
doesn't it just work?
Turn on the faucet and the water just comes out on the side. Bottle underneath it. Wait, what?
You have to catch it. It's like a video game.
It's great.
Sweet.
Oh, the idea that you should duplicate an eye and put it on Dig Dug at all times. So, like, having
I know. That's what we both had that thought at the same time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea.
But you'd have to use your eye.
It would be a duplicate of my eye.
Yeah.
Oh, you duplicate an organ.
Yeah. And then put it in like maybe in his necklace and have
Yes.
my eye.
Oh my
and
god, that's
Or, like,
the most hardcore
make
thing I've
a
ever
helmet
heard.
for
Or
it,
something.
yeah.
Yes. It's like in like a steel
I'm imagining, like,
ball
Cringer's
sort of that like
head
like a cat
piece.
toy bell.
Yes.
It's like,
I mean, let's just be honest. This cat is a battle cat. Let's just be real. This is fulfilling a childhood dream of playing He-Man. Also, Forfax is shirtless. I didn't mention that earlier. with a bowl cut, like blonde hair.
No, okay.
Yes. And just like absurd rippling muscles.
Some of this did not make it into the
Yeah.
previous character descriptions, but it like, went without saying.
It's
We thought that it
fandom.
was
It's
obvious.
our own fandom.
Man, that on Netflix, if the audience hasn't seen it, the Toys That Made Us is an awesome documentary, and they talk about the origin of the Battle Cat, how it just should not have even been. It came from another toy line, and was the wrong size, and they were like, just put a saddle on it and make it work.
Awesome.
And that's how the Battle Cat came to be. Yeah.
Just they're like paint it neon green and put a saddle on.
It was from a
man.
different line of toys that was a larger scale, so it was like, this is way too big to be with these. It looks like a horse, and they're like,
Yes.
then put a fucking saddle on it.
Well, we got 10,000 in the box. What do we do with it?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
damn, that's awesome.
All right, what are you guys doing with your with the next month?
Oh, did y'all want to do montage?
My montage will go with
Oh,
the
sorry.
second month because it's better with the second month.
Ooh, what do you
You
up
guys
to?
see every day you see Shent doing these like ridiculous sprint exercises around the building. He's running as fast as he can. And you're like,
On his own? Is he like leading people, or is he's just doing
if
this?
somebody wants to come out there and try, they can. But he is just like,
And he's already fast.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
and
probably
he's just
can't
like
keep up
doing
with him.
ridiculous,
Body
like,
Improvement Club.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I think maybe toward the end of the training, Forfax gets his cat involved, because I think his cat is
Yeah.
really fast too. So he's doing some sort of
That's
like
good,
fetch
too.
or something like that.
That means
where,
that, yeah, so like Shen would be like trying to like increase his speed and by means of like trying to
be trained in running or something.
yeah, well it's a fleet of foot ability that
and you're like
players
focusing
get,
on it.
and he's focusing on it, and so seeing you guys train,
I don't need.
he's encouraged to run faster, right? 'Cause no doubt the cat's gonna be like quick.
Cat's
and
gonna be
he
fast,
is
yeah.
a glaive, a strong glaive who moves like a cat, so he's inspired.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Sweet.
So
Yeah.
I love
so
this
yeah, that's the montage. You see him just like sweating and sprinting and drinking from this ridiculous fountain, getting shot in the face every now and then. Him about ready to break it in half with this giant hammer, and then just like backing off.
Yeah, Rocky. Totally. There is also a thing to think about when you guys are building out the map that in the same way that ciphers can't be near each other, installations need to be a certain distance away from each other. I don't remember off the top of my head how far it is, but yeah, when you start putting installations in the city, you'll have to be like, this one is like over there, because otherwise they'll have their weird fields interact with each other.
This plays right into my long-term strategy farming RPG
Farming
tendencies.
Yes, looking ahead at where you're gonna put everything.
Yeah, oh gosh, there's nothing like the feeling of not having the space to put in a building, and you have
build a
to
very
pay
tall-
to have everything moved, and it sets your schedule way
throws
back.
everything
'cause
off.
You have to pay the carpenter to come move it, which takes at least a day, and then your whole summer's gone, and what do you do then? No ducks for anybody.
Nobody got any ducks.
All right, what are you guys doing with your second month, or are you taking a narrative break at some point to explore this arm that we've discovered?
We could.
Yeah, do you guys want to do that in the break?
Where are we at time-wise?
I'm down for that.
It is 8:45.
Probably would be a good time to take a break and then
Yes.
do that.
I have some food and
That sounds good.
And I'm cool with that idea.
Sounds good. All right, so we'll come back after a 15-minute break, and we will explore the mighty arm, the giant mecha arm that we discovered earlier.
Nice.
That is potentially ripe with Numenera, but also has a settlement of someone's living in its shadow.
Some things.
So stay tuned, and we will return shortly. Welcome back.
addicting.
Caught with the Pocky.
Yeah, pulling it out.
All right, thanks for staying tuned. Our group has just finished a month of long-term play. We have constructed an ever-flowing fountain of water that's creating its own water from nothingness. Though it has a antagonistic personality to it. So it likes to spray people in the face.
Dodge water bottles. Yeah, that's just great.
Keep out of the way of anything trying to get water from it. Yeah. But I think the pool itself that is overflowing all the time, that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's just the sprayer that has its own personality. We also have worked together between Kele and Shent to discover the mighty arm. You guys don't know the name of that yet, but I'm just calling it that for sanity's sake. The
I'm imagining.
giant mecha arm that is... It is totally a Gundam arm, yeah. A massive severed Gundam arm with 7 fingers, 2 thumbs. That is... Yeah.
2 thumbs. Hold on.
Yeah.
It needs
five regular
trigger.
fingers, like our 4 regular fingers, and then 2 thumbs. So
No, the
7.
other one is called a pinky, not a thumb.
No, but it's
imagine
also
that?
opposable,
Okay, hold
right?
on.
In that way.
Uh-huh.
What? How many?
That'd
It's
be
7
kinda cool.
fingers.
This thing can do
7
everything
total
you
do it
can
right?
better.
Yeah, 7 total fingers. 5 of them are.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah, screen cap that.
Flip it. Listen, y'all.
Or maybe
Can't
this,
call them
I wanna
screen
give-
cap that, please.
maybe it's easier to see the. Oop, that's the wrong thing.
2 thumbs, but it's all thumbs.
Yes.
All
Okay.
thumb
All
dust.
thumbs up.
You break it down, it's all thumbs.
We're all thumbs here.
Mm-hmm. There we go. So there's the
We
image.
need to integrate.
I tried to make that joke earlier and just bringing it back around now.
Don't stop.
When we're ready to laugh.
Yeah.
It's
When,
just
when
like-
the context made more
What
sense.
we had other
The
Numenera
almighty
slang, right?
Other Numenera what?
Slang that we had developed in J. Colossus.
Oh.
I don't remember it.
That is not something I would have stored.
I know that I have it written
I know
down
that we had it.
somewhere.
I'm certain it's gone from my brain.
I found my like stack of index cards that I was using to run Jade Colossus with, and I was like, I should probably read through these before we start again. But
I think one of them was
Time will
like
come.
an equivalent for something being cool.
So
I'll bring these back.
we built our ever-flowing cup. We sought out the mighty arm as a salvaging site, and for facts tracked down a barrow cat and
Yes.
trained it.
Mathinian Barrow Cat.
Began to train it using as during the Leviathan. And a wall was finished by by Visso and the laborers, and now they're working on houses.
Yeah, there's some houses around.
And a kind of a tavern that they're already calling the Free House, because a lot of people have taken up this journey because it seems like a sense of freedom to them that they can go out kind of into this like faraway land and not have to be in a city, and they can make their own lives. So they feel like this is a sense of freedom. Yeah. Exactly.
So it says when actively working on the community, it has +3 infrastructure. Does it go away when I'm not working on it, or does every time I work on it, it gets another +3?
It doesn't get another 3.
Okay.
It doesn't stack, but it's like so say something happened to the community while you were there and had been there for a month working on stuff, then it would have that 3. If you guys went off on a quest somewhere else and like just arrived back and something was happening, it wouldn't have that 3
Gotcha.
because you weren't there actively.
I see. I just wanted
Yeah.
to be clear about that. Cool.
It just kind
So
of
currently we have a +3 to the community, but maybe not.
yeah, and I think it
we
would
go.
definitely be a good idea to like note where all the things are coming from. It looks like they have space for it too, by their like ranks and
And
stuff.
you know it's getting meticulous over here.
Yes.
Perhaps excessively so.
We'll have to get a really good like high definition screenshot of that once it gets out of hand at the end of this campaign.
And it will.
And it will.
There's gonna be stapled on sheets and little like things that fold out and
Yes.
unfurl.
Could be a picture.
I'm gonna
book.
be handing out thunder harnesses to.
There's gonna be a relationship
Daily.
table that's like a circle with a bunch of
all the-
interconnected
all the
lines with a
connected.
key next to
That's the
it.
thing that lets me.
Save that for Monster Hearts.
You're right.
And now we're thinking about
Investigating the mighty
investigating the arm.
And to be clear, this is in the middle of things, so
the-
we
in the
haven't actually
desert.
Yeah.
completed our.
Exactly.
Yes.
I do not have fleet of foot yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's basically like all of your long-term tasks that weren't completed in the first month are on pause.
Okay.
You arbitrarily decided to go right at the month mark, but for ease of sanity.
No, that's fine. I'm just making sure that I didn't have my K yet. No cutter.
All right, so the mighty arm. North is actually this direction, and you guys are approaching it from the south. So you're coming from this direction.
From
How
the
long
fingers.
does it take to
From
get
the
there?
middle finger
Yes.
first.
It takes 3 days.
Correct.
Yeah.
Still not sure how I feel about
That's
these.
why it took us a month to find it.
Go.
Awesome.
Yeah. It took us a whole month to find this place. 3 days is a cakewalk. As rugged as I am.
It isn't clear if the structure was originally built to look like a giant automaton, a piece of a gigantic automaton that was dismembered, or just something else entirely. It's not clear.
So hot.
But other than some minor wear and tear, the site looks to be in pretty good shape. And if you're careful, you should find lots of Numenera in it, because it looks unsalvaged. Yeah.
If we're careful. I sprint in.
No. You get grabbed by the back of the collar.
But it's the Armageddon. I'm so ready.
Shen and I have been calling it the Mighty Arm, and that's its name.
It's got people as.
You can have a boring name. I'll give it a less boring nickname.
Are we trying
Just
to
like-
get it?
Don't get attached to it, it's gonna get broken
I
out.
pull out a like little card, like it looks like a credit card, and maybe some extra shapes cut out of it. You know how they do, and start to like
sci-fi
right?
shapes.
Exactly. Like,
Sharp angles.
although the paper has to have its corners cut, otherwise it's just normal paper.
Did you hear about that gag in Battlestar Galactica?
No, that's what I was referencing. But why did they do that?
They actually talk about it in like behind the scenes thing, and they were trying to make their papers look like weird and sci-fi. So they were like, well, like the prop department was basically like, well, they're always making us cut corners, so we're gonna cut all the corners off the pages.
Oh,
Wow, destructive.
Hey. Now they have all the confetti
Awesome.
they need.
Yeah,
And
I
it
do.
worked.
I tell the group, I pull out one of my ciphers and I'm like, I have what I believe is an access key, and pretty positive this will open just about any door. And I'm like, let me know if you need it.
thanks.
Slide that back in my.
Interesting.
Your billfold.
It's like a skin tight and like little pocket.
Aw, I would love it if the synth made a pocket for it to go in.
It just opens up.
Awesome.
With a touch of a button.
Touch of a button.
Well,
How you guys want to do this?
let's go in. Y'all have been here before, right?
No clear entrance, and the fingers are all like a little bit suspended over the ground.
Okay.
Oh.
Where's the Destiny book at?
I used to have it. Destiny.
Do I have it? I do have it. I have like a book on each knee.
Yeah, totally.
Stack of 2 here. The joy of playing the old-fashioned way.
With
Yes.
books. Love it.
Keith, you would be a dad of books.
Yeah.
One child.
Book dad.
Book dad.
I take care of them. I organize them by their color. Only Daw Yellow get their own shelf though.
Daw Yellow Crown should be bearing a Daw Yellow Crown should be a what are the last is it a Photon? The last part of your Numenera description? You should be able to be a adjective noun
A
who
focus,
bears
yeah. I am
Daw Yellow Crown.
a strong glaive who bears a daw crown. Daw Yellow crown.
I don't know about the glaive needing a crown, but
Well, we don't know what the Daw Yellow Crown does yet.
Yeah,
I feel like it should give you an addition to your intellect pool.
No, it would just make things epic.
Bonus
In
resources.
a very
You
70s
really-
way.
You always wear bell bottoms.
Bell bottoms.
It is a completely flavored.
I mean, we could have a whole
Focus.
stream where we just look at the covers of Daw books and just rejoice at
I agree.
the glorious covers.
While y'all sitting around examine how to get in, I am pursuing forward, walking fervently with my backpack shaking. You hear noises like sounds like tin cans clashing together. You're not sure where they're
Okay.
coming from.
How far up are the fingers suspended? Like out of reach?
You would need like a rope or something, yeah.
Gotcha. A finger seems like an obvious entry point, but not if you're gonna have to work for it.
well, can we see
I would've
any of
thought
the
the
people
elbow.
that live around here from this vantage point? As we're coming into the scene,
Yeah, you guys are like a pretty far distance away, right?
I'm still trying to pull
They're definitely
Yu back and let him know that there are other inhabitants of the area.
They're definitely humanoid. Their skin looks like kind of blue grayish, and they're like, as you guys are kind of watching them from a distance, they're like working with their herds, right? They've got, we'll say they've got, yeah, they have herds of blood barms. Because reasons.
What's
These
that
are
one? Is that the
these
one
are
that- the animal
chicken
that-
like sized creatures that are composed entirely of like red
What did they refer to them as?
pustules,
Yes.
like that are like liquid filled.
It looks like they're just full of like just pus.
Do they have faces?
The red?
Here we'll get a picture
Weirdos.
for the. I think it's in the core.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
It's in the core rule book.
What's its name?
Blood barm.
Oh man, I'll look it up.
They're nasty. They're like this weird, like
kind of toward the back.
like light bloodish looking. Yeah.
Yeah, with like a weird.
They make a delicious salad dressing.
Yes.
To me, it kind of looks like those, like, you know, those creatures that like on a parade where they will have a thing on a float that is made out of mini balloons, but the balloons are filled with blood.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Are we gonna go introduce ourselves to our neighbors, or?
Yeah, they're busy like herding those things, like a small herd of them.
You can keep going. You don't have to wait.
What type of like they seem peaceful? They seem human?
Humanoid.
Yes.
Their skin looks like blue
They smell like chickens, though.
I mean, like, they are doing relative. They haven't.
Mm-hmm.
We have indications of their tech savviness based on the fact that they haven't messed with the arm. On the other hand, I'm like, if this was an original series Star Trek episode, guaranteed they've fabricated the arm into some sort of like god creature and will be pissed if we just waltz into it. Good old blood barms.
Good old disgusting blood barms.
Yeah, we should be able to get a blood barm. This would be so.
Oh
no!
God.
It was my fault, actually.
No, I'll take that.
This would be magic if we could get this to work, but I have a feeling it's just not.
Be at a table like this.
Yeah, it's maybe a little too high. Darn.
We could give you an upside down blood barm.
There you go. And just darn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Darn. It's okay.
Listen, look up blood barns on your own
next
time.
It was,
They're all
it was
over the
oriented
internet.
like kind of high up, so
They're all over the internet.
it's on a different present page.
They're all over the internet.
All right.
You don't know what a blood barm looks like by now? You're watching the wrong stream.
Yeah, so they're out like there's like several big herds of these things, and they're out like kind of navigating. You can see like in the distance, like up on a hillside, that those things are like in a group. They're obvious to see because they're these red colors. You can see them kind of like grazing, right? And there's like a shepherd of some kind of these people that's among each group, moving them around and corralling them and whatnot.
If we can get around to the side and not be seen, it would be probably advantageous to not alert them to our presence.
You don't want to talk to them?
We can do that later after we've gotten what we need.
Yeah.
What if they knew how to get in?
If they knew how to get in, why would they be out here?
Son? Blood barms? I don't know.
Those godforsaken animals.
They
I don't
seem
wanna be-
peaceful and human enough.
It's true.
I think we should seek out as many allies in these wastes as we can find.
Yes, yes, yes.
Plus, like, they clearly don't know how to get in or have any use or interest in whatever is. Look at their shelter.
Maybe you're right.
They might not care if we investigate.
How far out are we?
me from their encampment?
From the encampment. Are we?
You guys are like a pretty far distance, yeah.
Does anybody have a spyglass or a telescope-ish hand device? I look at keys too.
Or like a self-replicating eyeball.
Did
that
have
you
such
can
a
hurl
thing.
at
Yeah,
them.
throw it down there.
You just have a slingshot.
Too bad it lands like face up, just looking at the sky, and
Dang
you just
it.
can't see anything.
Dang it!
It's not gonna
It
rain.
lands in the feces pile. Don't ever want to look.
Don't smell from there. Don't smell from that nose.
All right. Well, if we are going to speak with these creatures, as we get closer, I'm going to attempt to see if they have weapons and such.
Yeah, that's what I think we should do. I think we should move up and just be peaceful.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And if so, Forfax will kind of take the lead, and I think I will use my demeanor of command.
So I think the closest, if you guys just go like a straight path, you're gonna intersect with one of the dudes grazing before you get to the village. You could like do a circumnavigate around that guy to get to the
let's just
village
go
if you would
hail
prefer.
this sad sucker.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Boy.
And demeanor of command presents you as a figure of authority,
Mhm.
and you can use it to take them to their leader.
Yeah, and they'll generally like give me a moment to explain before just attacking me outright, right?
I do not have my weapon out, just as a sign of.
Yeah,
non-aggression.
same. Forfax, but is going up with the Angulan Knight, like, tabard that he's got on, kind of emblazoned on the front. It's got the 4 colors, right?
Yeah.
And his holy symbol showing.
I'm still green, and I'm still covered in green spandex.
Yes. So as you're approaching, the first that this humanoid sees of the group approaching, it pauses, and it has like a weird Numenera shepherd crook going on here, and it pauses and is like seeming to squint at you guys and pulls back its hood, and its head is lined with what seems to be like
Blood pouches.
black like stones. Like it seems like obsidian stones or what are like lined in rows down its head, and then you see that the way that the light is shining on it, that they're actually like moving around, and you get the sense that they're all eyes, right? It has like rows and rows of eyes, and so it's doing like a weird like kind of squinting at you guys into the sun.
I'm gonna kind of like put my hands up peacefully and make some sort of a persuasion check here, I think, and just address it in the language of truth, and tell them that we come peacefully. We are new settlers to the desert in search of allies. Persuasion. Well, I'm trained in it, so I got a 2.
Okay.
I got 6, right? And actually, well, I don't know if it's too late.
You can use a free effort.
I have a free level of effort from that thing.
You succeed
Cool.
without it.
Without it, okay.
Yeah. So the figure rolls up its sleeves, and you see that it has this like stone gray, like kind of weird looking skin, right? It's like this stone, like kind of blue gray, and as it rolls up its sleeves, you see like bands of like sky blue, kind of like skin markings or whatnot. Not necessarily like tattoos or anything, but just like different weird colorations on its skin. And you're talking to it, asking it to take you to its leader.
Yes, I guess among other things, that's what my special thing does.
You come in peace, and it just stares at you for a long moment with all these different eyes that are all blinking in the sun, and then spits out this long blue tongue and a second long blue tongue, and then speaks in a weird way with its like tongue sticking out, and it's like,
Great.
and it seems almost a little like fearful of you guys, and does a weird sound and turns towards the village, and the herd like disperses in a different direction than you guys, and it starts walking towards the village, like glancing back over its shoulder toward you guys. So it sent its cattle away and was like, okay, hesitantly moving towards the village, but clearly
That seems like enough.
did
Yeah.
not speak the same language as you, and maybe didn't even quite understand, but it could tell by your body language what, that you weren't there to harm it.
Okay, I'll take that. That's enough for me. I think Forfax just moves forward
Yes, I think we could approach.
unquestionably.
if we approach
He just seems very confident, right?
Yeah.
with a cautious, not cautious, but a calm demeanor. You would think that they could read some body language, considering they are humanoid.
I have this quick study thing. If I take a round to study the facts, my non-combat action gains an asset. Can I just like study what I know about them as much as I can to have an asset for them? I don't know. I mean, it's not Ninth World Bestiary. This isn't like the flesh-eating things, but yeah, just trying to get an asset for my next interaction with them, I guess.
Yeah, totally. Okay, that sounds good.
While we're moving up, I'm studying it and the others and the way that it interacts with them, and if there's any sort of like mannerisms, or like if we come into a hut with a leader and they are like doing a certain like bow or something, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that same thing, just trying to like catch up as much etiquette as I can, even if I don't know their language.
Cool. You notice, so you guys are approaching the kind of outskirts of the settlement, and this one, even though it's like kind of repeatedly doing a little bit of a glance, you could tell that it has like so many eyes that it is actually like still really seeing you guys for the most part, and that it's kind of repeatedly, like this is its equivalent of squinting back at you guys, right? It's like it's getting more kind of surface area of eyes like back in your direction, and even there's like several of them that are using like awls and like kind of very simple tools, and they're like engaged in this kind of behavior, and as you guys are approaching, like without even looking up, they're like kind of starting to like straighten up and like so they're very perceptive, right? They literally have eyes all over their head.
Eyes in the back of their head.
And the top, and the side,
exactly.
and the front.
And that's why a lot of them have like that are out in the fields are wearing these like hoods, because they feel like they're like overwhelmed by the sun and whatnot. But in the village, there's a lot more of these, like there's the shade of the arm, and there's also all of their different houses that are kind of providing enough shade that they don't feel so oppressed by it. Yeah, and indeed, one walks out who seems like perhaps you get the impression by the way like is not wearing a shirt, and is wearing like a simple like kind of grass skirt kind of thing, and has like these kind of weird like sky blue markings all over. And appears like maybe is many of the eyes are like kind of a milky white, so is like maybe older and has like developed cataracts or whatnot, and seems like kind of almost an elder or a shamanist kind of figure that steps out with a kind of like a limp and approaches you guys.
Yeah, I will do like, I mean, I don't know, are any of the others kind of bowing or anything of the sort to it, or showing kind of some kind of
a deference.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily seem to show like a reverence to this figure, but they definitely are like
respect.
Respect and like kind of a relief that like someone who knows what they're doing is handling this situation, right?
I relate so hard to these creatures.
Yeah, well then I'm gonna basically, I mean, I don't know if this person speaks truth, but I will repeat the same thing to him, that we are new settlers of the desert, and that we are here seeking allies and to establish ourselves and to make peace.
Okay.
And I can do another roll for that.
Yeah.
And this one being with this guy, I'll use. I'll use. I don't know if there's an asset that I can use for what I've studied of them, but I can certainly use the asset from my demeanor of command.
Yeah, I think the study will give you an asset.
Okay.
I was also just giving you a little bit of information.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, asset from studying, trained in persuasion. I'll just use those two.
And effort.
And effort. Yeah. I meant to say that, but.
And you get a free effort if you wanted, but most like interactions will tend to have more than one persuasion roll, depending on
what's the free effort
from your demeanor of command.
Right. Yes. That's what I was saying. I was using that as an asset.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I spent 2 for the. So I was easing it 3 times.
Okay.
And I got a 6, 9, 12, 15, 5.
Yeah, and your like main message is like we come in peace.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do they have
We don't know yet like what their deal is with the hand. I'm just wanting to establish that we aren't enemies. And
from where we're standing? Can we see that they have like anything that holds water around?
Yeah. Yeah, they've built a rudimentary like water catchment that like catches rain and whatnot. And it seems even like that they've like established a like simple well kind of thing.
There's no overflowing fountain.
Mm-hmm.
No. Mm-hmm.
It also doesn't have an attitude when you try to get water from it.
It's true.
It doesn't have an attitude.
It has no personality at all. It's just a hole.
Just a hole in the ground.
I know what y'all mean. I get water out of it just fine.
Yeah, actually, you probably don't believe us that we all come back with these stories about it. You're just like, it works great for you every time.
Why are you always wasting it and flinging it all over your face?
Suffice it to say, Kele does not get her own water. Never has. Always makes you get it.
Yeah.
So you start talking and like kind of almost rudely in the middle of you talking, it like holds up a hand and it's like spits out its 2 long blue tongues and is like and points at its tongues and points at you and is like like you get the impression that he's like, we just like our words like are not gonna work, like and it starts just like gesturing and whatnot. I'm not like discounting your role at all.
Yes.
Like you still succeed, but you have to you get the feeling that your interaction rolls are hindered because you literally don't like share a language with them.
I get up next to you and I'm like, offer him a glass of water. See if they understand that.
Oh, you have water with you?
I mean, I have my canister.
Mm-hmm.
I can take the lid off of
It's
it.
from the ever full fountain.
Pour out. So I start doing that. Like I pull out my canister and I like pour some water in there and I take a sip out of it.
You can see him observing you, and as you reach forward,
And I hand it out with palm flat.
he like turns back and is like and like one of them like runs forward with a gourd that is like filled with water and
Nice.
pours it into a cup that's like made of like a hollowed out piece of crystal.
Whoa.
And like there's a weird like gesture of like
Exchange.
simultaneous like exchanging of the waters, and then you can tell he's like watching you. Like, drinking
I smell
at the
this
same
one.
time.
Yeah.
It tastes like well water, right? It tastes like groundwater.
Yeah, which is understandable.
And then he like
Our water's clear.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really clear and clean,
Yeah.
probably compared to theirs.
So I go to hand it back and I just
he looks like he wants to keep this. But then reaches out and like
Licks her eyeballs with both tongues.
yeah.
I think maybe this is where Kilu jumps in and is like, we gotta go
into the
Yes.
finger.
Yes. All right, give me a persuasion.
I have nothing.
You
to
make
add
that
to this.
gesture and he's like and points.
I'm not
And
using
the
effort
massive
because I wouldn't be
You're just
using
not.
effort. I'm just pumped about getting into the Armageddon. Armageddon.
Armageddon.
8.
Ooh. All right. So you make that gesture, and you're like, we want. And this leader gestures at all of you, and then does this weird yanking.
Grabbing.
The sense that he's like, all of you.
Whoa.
That was a yes.
No.
But you could sense in the gestures and everything that there was like kind of like a almost a superstitious like fear and like
Yeah.
discomfort and everything with this gesture, and it's purposely meant to be kind of confusing because you didn't roll well.
Yeah. Rolled pretty poorly. 2 Taz.
I'm gonna like point at them and kind of be like to their people, like, do you ever go in the thing? Yeah.
And then does this gesture of like,
The chaos and the yeah. Well, seems that they don't enter this place, but they might not be opposed to us doing so. Though it seems like he's trying to warn us not to do it.
Well, I mean, clearly we're going to go inside.
Way too curious. Think about all the IOs.
How do I say
that would be
stand
in
aside
there.
citizen in this person's language?
I get my water cup back.
Yeah. Can I take my cup back? Trade for the
I pour it
crystal.
into the gourd and hand it back to him. Pour the rest of my water into the gourd. I'm like,
the leader
twist it back on.
pats its chest, gestures to the village, and then gestures at this water.
I look at you and I'm like,
Can we refill
I
here?
think they're going to. I think they want one of these water things.
Oh man, that's gonna take a while. I don't even remember how I did it.
Yeah. One of the villagers approaches you guys with like 2 handfuls of the like blood balm pustules.
Oh.
Just like bite a tiny hole in it and suck it
I imagine when you bite it, it just is like.
you guys go to bite it and he slaps it out of your hand. No, what are you doing?
I used to do this with grapes where I would just puncture it and then suck the insides out.
Or are these things when they're cooked, are they kind of like, you know, like a blood sausage type thing where then it all kind of like becomes somewhat kind of solid. So then
Yeah.
the membrane and skin is on the outside, you bite into
just
it and it's
like-
kind of a...
It does look cooked, yeah. It totally does. Maybe like boiled though.
That's what I was seeing too, is boiled
It's like
pustules.
a giant
Boiled
egg yolk.
pustules.
Yeah.
Boiled.
You see it like go, it starts to run down my arm a little bit. I'm like,
Oh god.
oh.
You can hear like several of them are kind of like chuckling like under their breath at the way like your guys' weird behavior and
eating it
everything,
wrong.
but they all look like pretty joyous to have company among them, even if you guys are weird.
At some point, Kele will get into anime conversation pose, which is when one person is facing one way and the other
Yes.
is facing the opposite way. So when they're
Totally.
talking, and just like open a
Slide
corner
backwards and be like, oh,
of her bag in Forfax's direction discreetly and flash the memory collector as if to ask, is this how we get our information?
Yeah,
And I'm like
Trying
in the
to.
background trying to get it.
I mean,
They're all
we could
licking
probably
their
steal a
their
memory from one of
elbows
the
without
blood
any
barms, but we
trouble.
can't steal a memory from one of these people.
Can't we? We could give it back to them.
Yeah, how are you gonna warn them to be like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
whoever we do this to is gonna go unconscious?
Intriguing idea, but we should perhaps keep it in our back pouch for now.
We're like, look.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Here's what we do. We use it on one of our own first.
see? Go to sleep.
To show them that it's fine.
Totally cool.
Knocked out. For hours.
I mean, it is a great idea to like bridge the translation, but I don't know if it is.
I
if
feel
we
like
can't
it's
explain it to them
definitely
beforehand, it
not
could be
very
handled
moral.
weirdly. Yeah,
We'd have to do it
But
ourselves.
it's totally something my character would be
it's a
willing
great
to
idea.
do.
Yeah.
Take every memory I have of cats and give it to them.
Cats. They're like,
So
Why did you do this to my head?
I don't understand.
I feel like establishing like a connection with these people would be a wise thing
That's
to do.
actually one
and
of the long-term actions.
yeah, I know. I'm not going to use my action to do that though. And depend. I don't know. I was just reading. I might end up deciding to like train my creature for
Is it
a
a
month if I can, because then it would be a level 3 if that's a thing that I am able to do.
They also,
cannot do any
at this
more
point, there's like less of them than you guys. There's like 30 of them, and there's 5 of them that are like, they're all about like 4 to 5 feet tall, right? And there's like maybe 5 of them that are like curiously watching you that don't seem to exhibit any different behavior, but they're like 3 feet tall, like maybe that they're children. They're just very sophisticated children or something. So there's not a whole lot of them, and the village seems like, now that you're standing in it, almost maybe new-ish. You know, that they've like
They might be
resettled
nomadic
or something.
like that.
Well, what I was thinking is that we could basically like show them where the Amber Keep is.
Yeah.
And that they could come there and like trade with us and stuff, right? It is basically that established connection, long-term move.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you want to make a persuasion? Try and convince them to do that?
yeah, if I can,
I
but-
would assist by drawing a map for them.
Yeah, and you draw
Indicates
like a
right, like in the
hand in the
dirt,
corner, so you're
yeah.
like, this is right here.
And then be like us right here.
Yeah.
You right here.
Cool. Yeah,
As an
that'll provide an
assist.
asset. Yeah. Or you're trained in navigation, right? So it'll provide 2. If you guys are of equal training.
yeah, I mean, I have one. I'm trained in persuasion, so it is a totally different type of thing.
True.
I don't know if you can use if they're 2 different things and you can
didn't
use them
you say
toward the
that
same
you
end if it narratively
could
makes sense.
Use 2 different skills.
Yeah.
Maybe not in an aiding situation, but you did say if two were aiding in the same goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Kele will provide an asset
Okay.
in a kind of complementary action of drawing this map to like help
I'll go ahead
bridge the gap.
and use edge too.
That's what mine
So
was kind of
eased
hoping to do with the
1,
water thing.
2,
Right.
3 times, and I rolled a 17.
Yes.
Yo!
Oh.
So yeah. Yeah, want to let them
Wanna
know
say
like
no.
where we are, that we're friendly, that we'll trade with them, and even more so, just trying to kind of be like, and if we do this stuff, can we go check out what's going on with his hand back here?
Cool.
Draw them the map, and do some sort of a thing for like trading to show them like you give this, you give this,
Permanently
if you
give
come
away
here
his
or whatever.
No.
Yeah.
I'm already wiping some like blue saliva off the top of the ring. I was curious, like when he drank it, where his tongue's hanging out.
Yes.
He probably just lapped it up with both tongues at different times.
So you explain this whole situation, and the map is like examining this map in great detail, and then is pointing at the Amber Keep, and is like questioningly, and then nods.
Wait, did you just invite them to the
Yes.
thing?
And the leader.
blood
Only if they bring their blood barns.
blood bar.
Yeah, these are delicious. You should have tried them.
The leader takes out from
Like
pouch on his belt, and it's still not clear what gender they are. Like none of them seem to have any secondary sexual features that you guys can tell. Takes out what you guys can tell is a cipher, and a paired one that has like unscrews the two of them and then affixes one to like a post in the center of the village, and then takes the other one. But you can tell that they're like entangled in some way, and like tests it, and you can hear like it's like a speaker kind of thing. So it's like a speak through this thing, and they hear it through that.
Yeah, so he's like,
Yeah,
and we hear
yeah, it's a baby monitor kind of thing, right?
Great.
Baby monitor.
And then
Pretty smart.
like does a weird tongue yodeling call, and two of the herders that are out in the fields start to gather their herds, and like as if the command also like let them know what direction to head. Like they seem in weird ways like very sophisticated. They all start heading towards the south, toward where you guys came from. And the leader and two like others gather up like a pack like in minutes, and then are like basically
We
We better send them.
to go.
We better send them something.
so they know it's us.
We don't show up. There's a bunch of dead blood barbs and tongues hanging out all over the place.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, what distinctive stuff do we have?
To send back with them?
I think we at some point discussed how we, at least some of us probably have some sort of amber gleaner sigil somewhere to identify
Wouldn't it
us.
be bad if they thought they killed us?
We
for
can
them?
write a small note on something like that map.
That paper that
It
shoots
goes with
out
the
every hour
sigil.
from the
Oh,
oven.
yeah, there's definitely some leftover
First
paper.
off, I need that paper, and secondly, it hasn't printed today, and I don't know when it will.
What'd you do
It took
with
us
the
3 days walk to get
yesterdays?
here. Did you?
I used it, of course. I love my paper.
Can you give us a pointer? Do you write on the
Very
back
good
and the
origami.
front?
I use all of the... Fine.
You're the one that wanted to talk to these people.
They were cute! Okay, fine. I take a piece of paper and do that thing where I fold it multiple times over and over again so it makes a perfect crease. And then I'm finally wet and
You rip it in half?
yes, and you get half the piece of paper.
I only needed like this much. If we're letting Kele write the note, it just says, "Hi, it's from us." Period.
Hope they find the note.
I'm like, that's all you're going to write.
Maybe I should go back with them.
For facts, you might want to add some proper terminology to that.
I have a bad relationship with the community leader, yeah? Does anybody here have a good relationship with the community leader? Sala?
I think everybody else.
Everybody
is
in the
neutral.
town likes me.
Yeah, definitely.
Except for Visso.
Everybody loves
You
I
you.
don't know what y'all are talking about. I think Visso likes me just fine.
We could at least let them know that we sent them to the area for trade purposes.
Yeah. That they're new recruits for the Amber Keep. Amber
They
Gleaners.
seem to be really
That they
interested
know
in
the
leaving
area.
this place.
They have resources, livestock,
2 tongues.
and that you are expected to accept them in graciously. And that they can try to get water from the fountain if they want to.
And they'll have the other end of that cipher, right? They'll be taking their end of the stick with them. So when they get there, the people at the Amber Keep could talk to us, and we could talk to them.
Oh yeah. I thought
Like,
he
I already-
used
I
that
gave you
just to
a note,
talk to the
y'all.
people in the field.
Can you
Me
speak
too. I thought it was
both
just a
ways through it?
loudspeaker.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just one was like a speak
megaphone.
into it, and the other like emanates the voice.
They got
I
two.
see.
They got two Amazon dots. They're just.
God,
They're snail phones or whatever.
Oh yeah, the Den Den Mushi.
Gosh, that guy was really smart.
That's what they has the snail phone. Den Den Mushi.
Well, I probably grabbed the thing off the thing, thing off the thing, off the post, and I like
transponder.
fasten it to
Yeah,
on
but I
some
think
part of my
I
belt
think it
that's
is
like
Denden.
missing
Is it this
something.
one?
Is it
Yeah.
Numenera?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is it dangerous around me right now? Since
Well, it's
been
a cipher.
activated? Right.
I mean, it's a cipher I just made
I mean,
up.
I'm
but-
full, but like, this could be dangerous, but I guess I'll hold on to it.
Well, if we
Why don't you
use the
send
if
them
we use
back
the access
with
key to
one?
get in there, I can hold on to that thing.
Sounds good to me. It's not like I haven't been injured with ciphers before.
Okay.
There does appear to be like various different panels that could maybe be doors that are closed and locked that maybe the key might open, so that you don't have to find like the natural entrance.
I imagine these farmers just rolling up to the Amber Keep and then having this cipher, and they hand it to them, and all it says is like it's just got a button on it, and it just says like "Press me, Kelu." You just go to hand it to them, having no idea what it is.
And they're like, nope.
Yeah, press me. Try here. Okay, yeah. So I think they're making their way toward the Amber Keep, and we're
Yeah.
gonna check out this hand. Yeah.
That was pretty quick. They just decided to pack up and leave. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it was basically the leader and like two of its aides, and then like two groups of herders. So it wasn't
Some of them
all
are still here, yeah.
Oh, and they could just be here temporarily. This may not be their.
Yeah, they may be.
Well, they
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
so
it
could
looks
be
like
one
it
of their
was
long-term.
kind of hastily, you know. Or
You
at
get the
least
impression maybe they're
temporarily.
bringing gifts almost.
Hmm.
I think this is kind of a.
Establishing the connection, kind of.
Well,
Right.
good for them.
Cool. So we're gonna check out this hand.
Yes.
I'm totally all for you using the cipher just because I feel like it would make it quick and
It's kind of the name of this game.
yeah.
Use ciphers and get new ones.
And yeah, and if we can get
Actually, the name of the game is Numenera, just so I don't confuse
And
anyone that's watching.
if we can get in there by a proper entrance, we lessen the risk of like, you know, getting hit by some weird thing.
Setting off an alarm.
I'm
or
also
something,
feeling
yeah.
a little dizzy from having these 4 ciphers on me, so.
You should definitely do something about that.
Yeah. Kelu's walking backwards for some reason. Like, the cipher's just messing with him right now.
There is a table. I'll roll on it if you hold on to it for too long.
I know you will.
Well, between here and the hand, really. Between here and opening a door.
Yeah.
Which all that we're
we
really.
have to find one first. Kelu starts
No,
doing
we can
handstands.
create our own door, I think is the point, right?
Yeah.
The
I
access
think-
key is a more of like a.
Oh, it's a key.
yeah, unlock.
It's not like the hole on the wall.
No.
You get the sense that, just kind of looking around the area, that the open hole over here, for the audience, I'll move the pawn, but this is kind of like the normal entrance. You guys are in the little village here.
Yeah, and
Entering
I
through
guess
the severed stump.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't have to use the key to get in. It could open a door on the inside that we want
that's
to get
true.
into.
And I feel like it makes sense that having already looked at the fingers and deemed them not the best way to get in, we would go to the wall and start following it, looking for an entrance, which I guess would be perception?
If it's a hard thing to spot, or else we just take the.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it seems like just a busted hole.
It's. I mean, I'm imagining that it is the arm of something that has been
Yeah.
severed off, right? So this is
Yeah.
the end where it's
Yeah.
all like jagged and crazy, and
Yeah, where
there's some
you
sort of
would
an
think-
area where you can just climb into
Where
it.
you would think that the bone would be in this arm is just like kind of a ragged hole, like that whole end of the arm that's been split off is just like this ragged like rip, right? And the hole, like where the bone would be, is just a hole, is like kind of a tunnel that you guys could move through, and you'll be squeezing through it. But the whole thing is just lined with like conduits and cables and whatnot that have all just kind of draped down. None of them are sparking or anything crazy. It's just like remnants of.
Do I get an idea how long this has been here? I have plus to engineering, if that may help. I don't know if engineering would help me in this case, but
Yeah, hundreds of years probably. like it's definitely showing some like wear, like from erosion. But you can also tell that it has been like there's conduits and wires and stuff that haven't been scavenged at all.
Does it seem to be of this
That's what I was gonna say.
ninth
world.
Would that be a Numenera related
Can we
world?
even tell? What that means?
It's never really known. I feel like.
Gotcha.
I can say with
From my perspective or from characters' perspectives, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, it's been here a while, that's for sure. My tongue's starting to hang out of my mouth from my ciphers.
You start to grow a second.
Blood bomb.
Well, I
It's as you
would
get
certainly
more.
roll perception just to have an eye out on things.
Okay.
We don't want any surprises. Or we do.
Keep your eyes
One of
open,
5.
please.
My character's
A
not.
couple surprises.
it's-
I mean,
It seems like everything is
no traps here.
it doesn't seem like anything's amiss here. Seems like maybe animals have like nested in this area at one time, but they're not here anymore.
So I actually will do something interesting.
As opposed to other people who did not.
Wait, did someone want to do something?
No, I'm just messing with you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I'm doing this. So I grab some of my water from my canteen and I dip this weird object inside of it.
Gross.
And from it starts to like unfold these arms and these squishy, spongy facade forms into the cipher morphs into a hound-like beasts of a level equal to the cipher level with appropriate health, damage inflicted, and so on, plus 1 point of armor. The hound obeys the user's commands as best as it can with only animal level intelligence for 28 hours until it is slain, whichever comes first, at which point it dissolves into a thick liquid.
Ugh.
So it is a level 6, and
Damn.
Spongy hound.
it is a morphs into a hound-like beast
Oh,
from that weird.
it doesn't.
Sponge ham.
It doesn't.
Instant companion.
Doesn't like even seem to have like a totally formed mouth. Like it's just like a weird like no eyes or like ears or anything.
Yes.
It's just like this kind of smooth. And the mouth is like as it opens is still like kind of the sponge ripping and parting. Like it's just
It's like when Neo loses his mouth and he's kind of it's pulling apart.
I want to see an infomercial for instant companions.
yes.
You'll see me finally clear up because I've got less ciphers on me, and I'm like petting this thing under its chin and treating it just like Dig Dug and then I tell it to like basically like, all right, now go on, go investigate, and I basically am like, let us know if anything's down there, and then I like send it off basically as a patrol.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
If I can give it that sort of command.
Okay. I'll make it work.
Do you think it would
So?
take a
Yeah.
animal level? It's an animal. The hound obeys the user's command as best as it can. So I've just basically wanted to like send it and don't know where it's gonna go, but if it like to alert us if it finds anything.
All right. It lumbers, spongy, fleshy, into darkness.
It's wet feet hitting the ground.
So are you just sending it in there without us?
Yep.
It's scouting.
Oh,
I
okay.
figured if it finds something, it'll make some kind of noise. I think they do that, but if not, then
We'll make just some squish sounds.
yes, it'll get squished and we'll know there's a problem.
After a few moments, a small pack of like little like I'm seeing like kind of like kangaroo rats I'm just making it up. It's Numenera, and like a little small pack of them like flush out of the arm and like kind of scatter around you guys, like they were like startled out of their little lair by it.
Kangaroo rats. Awesome.
In the desert, in the cold desert. And then
I guess
you're just still waiting.
No.
After a while, we probably start going in. Huh?
I can lead my. I can take point, considering my character is. I have my quarterstaff out, and am ready for beating things.
Ready for a beating. All right, so the let's switch back to.
I turn on my nano headphones. Get a little double bass going on in there.
Whoop whoop whoop. So there's all these, like, in this first room you enter, there's just all of these conduits and cables and whatnot in here. You're getting the sense that you could salvage.
And we do.
And you do.
Like we do.
You guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Shent is
We'll salvage for any old thing.
There's
Leaning
thick
up against the wall.
synth bands wrapped around wires, blinking panels, and stranger things that you guys do not identify immediately. But it's definitely a room that can be salvaged.
Okay. Specialized, no effort. 10.
Sweet. I need to look at my chart. Alright, this structure is a level 5 structure. So the task is a level 5.
Alright.
And you succeed because you... Did you say effort?
No effort.
But you're specialized?
Yes.
Are you sure no effort? Is someone helping you?
Well, you rolled a 10. Wouldn't that be a 9?
You're right, I'm sorry. You succeed. Okay, then give me you're looking for anything?
Yeah. So one roll on random salvage results. What is that?
Just
A
like
4. So 1d10 shins and either one roll on the item results table or 1d6 ciphers plus parts.
I have some skills, but
Training or specializing skill.
I'll take the item.
Item.
I did not.
Alright, then give me a percentile.
Edge plus 4 with the stat pool.
Josh, what's your percentile?
I need a quick reference sheet of these item things so I can describe
The
them to you,
D-hundo?
'cause I feel like I'm failing
Hundo.
on that front.
Right.
City 2.
City 2. Excellent. That's a great roll because it is near the cap of. It is the cap of power for the level of the thing.
Ah.
So this is a d6 units of quantium.
I saw some of that. It's
Just one
Maybe Daniel can be the.
unit roller.
Well, actually, he's already got going on there, but.
Quantium.
All right, and
I guess 1d10 shins, right?
yes.
If you find any more of this, that'd be great.
6.
Man. And you get the impression that you could potentially salvage this room again without penalty.
Let's do it.
It seems ripe.
Alright.
I'm still no effort.
This type of item is glittering points of light that are almost always confined inside an opaque synth box. One box represents 1 unit of quantium, so you found 6 of these boxes that are like just clear synth, like plastic boxes, but on the inside there are these glittering lights.
It's like an energon cube.
I succeeded again.
In addition to being a needful crafting material, 3 units of quantium can be used to attempt to move the user 1 round back in time, a difficulty 5 intellect tech.
I tried
Every
that.
item can do like some kind of crazy thing.
I tried that once. That was a bad idea. I will not do that again.
So like
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Sorry, I'm leaving you hanging.
No, I'm using the table.
You're working it.
I got the same result,
Okay.
and we got 4 units of IO.
Okay.
Ayo.
And 4 shins.
So we just got IO on that scavenge?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The while you guys are scavenging, you're pulling out pieces of Numenera of Io. The spongy servant returns.
Oh.
Charlie!
And it seems
Your bag!
it seems like it's like quivering
You're cold.
with a bit of like terror and
No,
discomfort.
I think Charlie's scared.
Charlie can't get scared. He's a sponge.
No, Charlie's a instant companion. Emphasis on the companion.
Yeah. You sent it away.
You're okay, Charlie. Pet.
I walk in that direction that it came from and try and like listen, see if I can hear any sounds.
Following Shent and drawing my sword out.
Hushing everyone to so we can listen, see if we can hear any
The
noises.
next bit is like a really kind of a crowded corridor that's like filled. It's like dense and just filled with cord and stuff. You can tell this is not a space that's meant to just be like walking around.
Yeah.
This is maybe some service hatches
We're
or
kind
something
of like
that.
one stepping like at a time to kind of like inch through this space.
And you're making like a perception.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was just thinking.
Yeah, you guys are definitely squeezing through this. Physical tasks are going to be hindered, but you still get the sense as you're moving through this that it is also like ripe for picking Numenera or Iotum or whatnot.
What kind of
Fail.
Fail.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I might as well, even though I have a disadvantage.
Well,
You guys
okay,
are
let's
going to
see.
try and
I tried it. Failure means that
I'm gonna roll to a little perception to see what is.
So failure
See if
means
I
find
notice
only
anything
1
listening.
unit parts. So
Yep.
we do get 1 unit part.
Oh.
Yeah, you both get one part.
Oh.
Unit parts.
I was doing perception. I just pulled up 7.
A 7. Okay.
Rolling this.
You hear.
No, we don't have to roll for it.
You
I think
hear
it's
in
just
this
parts.
room up here.
Yeah.
You hear the sound of what sounds like a human voice talking, but it is like clipped. Like it's like buffer issue in our minds. Like it's like what,
Yeah.
or like single words at a time where it's like insert finality, but then there are like imagine like 5 to like 8 different layers of that happening at the same time.
God.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're like overlapping each other and kind of all skipping and all sounding strange, one on top of the next.
Sounds like this thing might still be in some way active.
Cool. More to find.
Well, I mean, it depends on what kind of cool you mean. If we're inside of it, it might think we're trying to invade it. So we ought to be on our guard.
We're talking in this narrow corridor.
Yeah. Trying to
Yeah,
punch
I'm
my
like-
way through.
Yeah.
Like just
Pressed against each other.
if your paper
think we
thing
should
goes
keep
off,
going.
I'm gonna rip that thing off.
Listen, I don't have control over when that goes off, okay? It is my favorite thing about my character, though.
So yeah, I'm kind of making our way through the narrow corridor to see what we can see. I I mean, when I get close enough to see into a larger space, I want to like peek around and like.
All right, you emerge in this room right here, which appears to be it's an integrated weapon. It seems like some kind of it's like a room that is like generating power and is like there to like fire like a mecha cannon or something, right? It's the inside of that, so it seems like there's like control panels and whatnot, but they're all blasted and blown out, and screens are shattered and whatnot. But what really strikes your attention that I'll leave you guys on as the hook is a figure, a human, who is crouched on the ground before these like panels and keyboards and whatnot. Is crouched like just on the ground, but is flickering in existence. And with each flicker, there's other forms of this person like blipping into existence all around them. And I'm gonna switch to the screen so that you can see an image of them, and you guys can take a look at this figure.
Man.
Whoa.
That is like
They
kind
look
of
human, though.
crackling with like weird power.
It doesn't look like an image.
No, it's definitely a human, but it's like kind of branching moments of like forking like timelines that are all like flickering in and out of existence, and the person clearly looks like in some form of madness and agony.
It's just how we like them.
Yeah. Perfect.
Poor Charlie.
All right.
Great.
And as you enter the room, several of the different versions of this human are turning back towards you.
Whoa.
And their eyes are like crackling with like a bright blue light.
I think I'm
Bright blue hostile light.
holding Charlie as we come through. Both of us terrified. And it looks it's too big for me to hold, really.
No, you come through the corner because he's spongy. You like go to squeeze him, and it's like and a bunch of like the juice comes out because he's squeezing too hard.
Oh man, you can pull the cork on his butt and he just like
Eyeballs.
shrinks down a little.
It's like one of those
bit.
stress dolls where the eyeballs pop out.
Well, find out what's up with that next time as we complete Act 2 of the Amber Keep arc, building Amber Keep, and by the end of that we'll finish our 2 months, and Amber Keep will become a rank 1 settlement. And get all of the appropriate
Awesome.
stats for that, and you guys will be rewarded XP and all that. And then
Cool.
we'll continue on back onto the other thread, the one that involves the machine god. Relics of the Past is what it's called.
Sweet.
So stay tuned for that. Before then, Friday, we've got Expedition Dracana episode 13.
Yeah. Lucky number 13, y'all. It's
Yeah,
gonna be one
13.
that you will not want to miss.
Dragon eyes.
There are dragons arriving. Finally,
Yes.
episode 13. Also, we have basically no horses left to kill, and barely any.
But you should still tune in to
NPCs.
vote, just in
Yes,
case.
yes. There will still be voting on who dies, I'm sure. So catch us on Friday, and until then, next week, stay weird, y'all. Pose.